much.
It's October 17th, 2024, and after 10 years, 1,250 hours, 6 hosts, way too many games or hours of streaming, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 500 of the Nintendo Dads podcast. And boy, have we got a banger of a show. We've got guests, we've got our community, and hey, we're going to talk about how awesome we are because of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Waldack, please, sir, cue the music.
What's up, everybody? Marty Estes here with all three other Nintendo Dads for episode 500. What an absolute ride. It is October 17th, 2024, and apparently numbers are not my specialty tonight. And, guys, the chances of us breaking a record tonight for most concurrent people watching this are pretty good, if I may say so, because Hulu is down nationwide as we speak right now, and people are...
Is it?
They're freaking TO'd, man. This is getting me TO'd. And so, yeah, they're right in the middle of Major League Baseball playoffs and NFL and all that fun stuff. Yep. On the very day that they upped their prices. Isn't that fun?
Nice.
Not bitter. I'm not bitter or anything. Anyway, wow. 500 episodes of this dumpster fire. And, Justin was talking earlier, and we'll come back to this later on in the show, about just how many hours of content that is, just if you listen to the podcast. Oh, he did the math. I'll let him share that with you. But guys, how are we feeling tonight? I'm feeling 500. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 500 too. I don't know.
Yeah,
500 also.
500 also. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling a bit tamed today. I am in I'm in a hotel right now in Massachusetts, and it's 10 to 10, so I'm not usual my yelling at the microphone self. But man, I was just thinking about a lot actually today. Just kind of feel a little bit of self-reflection. Maybe it's because I'm tired. Maybe it's because I'm missing family. Maybe it's a bit of a jet lag. But man, just a lot of nostalgia for 10 years of doing this. Like, I cannot believe that we are still doing this after 10 years, 500 episodes. We're going to talk all about that stuff later, but what an absolute journey. And man, it's been so awesome to do it with most of you on this call. So yeah, Jesse, how are you today?
Pretty good. I'm also a little groggy because I've had an early morning. My wife had a 6 a.m. flight over to the Seattle area. A friend of hers is getting married this weekend. So she's
Nintendo
there now.
Moms is finally happening.
So I'm not used to being up at 3:30 in the morning, and I'm like, if I try to take a nap, I think it's just going to make things worse. So I've been up all day, and I was hoping to sleep in a little tomorrow, but no, I have an 8 a.m. call.
Ooh. I hear you on that one.
Yeah.
Timothy off.
Hey guys, I'm excited that I get to be a part of this. That's, I'm just happy to be here, No, this is super cool and awesome just to celebrate this with everybody here and seeing this podcast get to 500 for 10 years of podcasting, all the history that's behind it. Like you said, there were 6 hosts, and just how it's grown from there. In fact, I saw here too, when I went on Twitch to see everybody's chat, it had me post happy affiliate anniversary as well. So at the same time, we're
really?
celebrating happy affiliate anniversary with Twitch.
Funny. Wow.
So
Yeah. Don't know how long
there's-
that's been, but that's cool.
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't say how many years, but I mean, just think of where everything started. Obviously, Jesse and Justin, you know, with you guys and Zach when he was on here, and where it's come to with all the changes in technology, all the changes, not just on, you know, with how we do this, but also in gaming technology. Just it's fascinating to me just to think about all that stuff. So I'm excited to be here and talk about it. Can't wait.
You know what would have been really fun, and I think it could have been a great time for us. Maybe we can still do it. Is schedule time where the four of us go back to episode 1 and do like a live listen back, and we
Like
can,
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
yeah, a little bit of like pause and like, oh my, like how horrible is this? And I think that might be a bit of fun to kind of do a bit of reflection on how far it has come.
Yes, that would be cool.
Yeah. You know, if this episode were a song from the 80s, it would be I would cast 500 times.
Wow, I like that. I was
Yeah.
thinking you're like maybe like 500 red balloons.
Oh, yeah. It's we're officially, Mikey Burgett in the chat points out we're officially a race as well. The Indianapolis 500. With
Wow,
as many you
that's a
can
great
listen
point.
to one episode a lap.
So I did the math. You kind of inferred to this earlier, Marty, right? So 500 episodes on average, and now we're just talking what I'm going to call Nintendo Dad's Prime, right? And that's the main podcast. That's this show. On average, I'm going to say we do about 2.5 hour episodes. I love that, Ninfrendo. I would walk 500 miles. Thank you so much. That's a fantastic call out. So on average, about 2.5 or 2.5 hours an episode, bring us to 1,250 hours. So obviously, if you divide that by 8, it is over 52 days of nonstop listening to Nintendo Dad. So if my math is sort of right, if you're new to the podcast, you start listening right now, you should be finished just before Christmas, and that could be a beautiful gift for yourself.
I love how you're suggesting they listen right now. So they listen to this episode, and then they go back to number 1, and they're kind of.
Unfortunately, a lot of our earlier stuff is lost media, but most of it's there.
You can, if we did it that way, it would almost be like watching it in like Star Wars prequel, order.
I like it.
You watch the middle, then you watch the front, then you watch the end.
Yeah. Have seasons where it's your favorite hosts, right?
It's
like this is my favorite.
4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Nice.
What are you doing over there? That is not
Yes, that is the suggested way to watch the trilogy.
To watch,
the saga.
Hope
sorry,
and Empire.
You watch
Strikes
4,
Back.
5 first, then you jump back after the reveal of Empire to 1, 2, and 3, and then you go back to 6, 7, 8, 9.
I don't know. And I'm not in a mood to argue, but that's wrong.
Oh, it's not an argument. It's an option. It's an option.
Yeah. Well, we don't have.
You watch it the way
guys.
you watch it the way you want to watch it.
That's right. What we don't have an option about is getting on with the show, because we've got quite a bit. Our fans and other folks in our podcast sphere really came through as we asked for reflections about 500 episodes as we celebrate tonight, and we've got some news to talk about as well as what we've been playing, and maybe a timeout or two. So Jesse, you know what to do. Hit that news music button for me. Of course, our news is brought to us each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. And on our 500th episode, we want to say a huge thanks to every single one of you who is a patron of the show or has ever been a patron of the show. You, for 10 years nearly, have helped us create more great content than we ever could have done on our own. Seriously, the things that we use to record, the games that we play, the systems we play them on, the trips that we've been able to take, all of that is a result of our wonderful folks over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. You've helped us make the jump from podcast to alone to YouTube channel to Twitch streaming to line chat to now a full-blown Discord, 5 Alarm Fire over there, which is wonderful, and all kinds of other content that honestly I still kind of step back and go, what in the crap? Like, how did all of this happen?
We've had 376 patrons over the 10-year span.
Wow.
That is
according to what it says.
That's incredible.
376.
That's pretty incredible. And there are a schwackload of those that are still around. Some of them that from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And you guys are helping us continue to make content. And so we're so very thankful for you. Everyone who joins up over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, whether you're a little, just as little as $1 a month, that first tier there, up to $30 a month with our Patreon producer. Everyone gets access to the Discord right now. Everyone gets ad-free podcast feed. That's for everybody all the time. You get access to the dinner table every third Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern. You get random prizes and giveaway drawings. Like, a couple weeks ago when Echoes of Wisdom came out, we just gave away a Nintendo Switch Zelda Switch Lite Zelda edition. And so we'll do crazy stuff like that, but we're able to do that because of you.
Well, and I would say, we're starting to sound like we're getting to the rigor of a regular episode. This is not a regular episode at all, because for clarity, we have giveaways happening today, right? So our amazing folks over at Patreon helping us to fund the giveaways that we do, which is awesome. We have got special messages from some of our favorite contributors, some of our favorite guests, and we've got a special announcement near the end of the show about what will be happening and how you can join the Nintendo Dads in celebrating 500 episodes and 10 years of podcasting in 2025 at a special event. So we have got tons of really interesting stuff this episode.
Yep.
Hopefully you'll tune in. So yeah, this is great stuff. So thank you.
Absolutely. So again, you can head over to the website URL, patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. That's all one word. You can join up by the month, or you can join up yearly. If you join up for a year, we give you a month free. That is our gift to you. And again, $1, $5, $10, and $30 levels. And you're all smart, intelligent people. You can go read about the perks that you get over there. And so we are really excited about what's to come in Patreon, and we're excited about you guys that have helped so far. So let's dive into the news. Of course, this week, our biggest news item is the absolutely massive leak at Game Freak that occurred at the end of last week and early into this week. Obviously, this is akin to, as some people said, Centro Leaks, especially one of the big guys who handles Pokemon news and leaks, said that it was akin to the Giga Leak from Nintendo that absolutely leaked, gigabytes worth of stuff a few years ago.
More than a terabyte, I think.
Yes. And not only did this end up leaking info about Gen 10, which is upcoming, it ended up also leaking the code name for Switch 2, as well as plans for games to be for Switch and Switch 2, and some very questionable Pokemon lore. And so I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about this. Jesse, I particularly want to throw to you, being our resident Pokemaniac, brother. So what do you think? Now, listen, let's Mecha ask in the Discord for no spoilers.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
Spoiling.
Well, I actually didn't. I have a high level.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I'm not gonna share anything because that's this ill-gotten gains. But in fact, see, Ninfrendo asked if there was a fix for Scarlet and Violet in there. Probably not.
No, that was in the deleted files.
But yeah, so yeah, it's just like the whole Giga League thing. It's all scummy. I'm not happy as a developer.
Yeah.
I'm not happy seeing some, many people's hard work just getting out there.
Yeah.
That some of the, there are some things of interest that, like old beta art sheets. That's kind of cool, but employee data, personal data
No,
in
that's
the
not good.
especially after the Pokemon Company and Nintendo's lawsuit against Palworld, where there are active death threats and now you're doxing employees. That's not cool.
No, I'm not cool with that. I just wanted us to cover this because it is a huge story. It does affect Pokemon Company. It does affect Pokemon fans. It does affect Nintendo. In fact, I saw today that the original leaker has a copy of Pokemon Legends ZA that is playable on PC that he is currently playing through a playable build of that game. So that game's not even out yet. We've seen exactly 30 seconds of that game.
And it's likely not finished yet. So
Yeah,
what he does, if he does share anything, grain of salt, doesn't mean it's going to be in the
absolutely.
end product.
What I want to know is why this guy is not absolutely below ground right now, due to Nintendo's lawyers and ninjas.
Well, I think, as I recall, over the weekend, there's been a lot of like scrubbing stuff off the internet, right? As things are coming up, copyright flags are coming up. Like, I think Nintendo, Pokemon Company, and their legal team are acting very quickly. But like, and again, we have friends, or not friends, we have associates and partnerships with Nintendo, right? Full transparency. But I think we can also be critical and call it what we do. Like, Nintendo don't mess around, right? Nintendo does not mess around with their Nintendo ninjas, and so like Pokemon especially also doesn't mess around. So like, you just like I don't know what you think you're doing, but I can guarantee you that in the end you're not really going to be quite happy with your decision,
No,
because they are going to just bury you, right, in legal fees and whatever you think. Is you having a great time playing the game early now and you got a moment of fame, you have just released personal information of
you'll
people.
never
Like,
play
you
another
are,
Pokemon game, period.
I
Not where
hope you
you're
like,
going.
no, I hope you like tic-tac-toe, because that's about all you're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I
In
would
the
just
dirt with
encourage,
a stick.
yeah, and I would just, I think all of this stuff is like, internal docs can be in very different degrees, right? Like, hey, this were some ideas and we definitely aren't going to do with them, so now we're going to put them in the garbage bin, or wipe. Like, imagine like if you went to a corporation and you went through their garbage and started grabbing like all the sticky notes, and it would just look like a madness, right? And so some of the stuff that you're hearing from, like lore and names, like that could be early draft one of something that ended up being something completely different. Like, you're just it's so I think all of it is very grain of salt. Like, this doesn't mean anything in regards to content lore. Uh, so I would just be cautious. Like, don't be upset at Pokemon or the
Yeah.
Nintendo company. They show you what they want to show you when they feel it's ready, not when somebody. It's kind of like baking a cake. Like, you just look at the egg, the flour, the salt, and chocolate laying on a countertop. You're like, this is going to be weird and stupid, right? When you put it together, you bake it. You're like, this is delicious. Right now, what you're seeing is, this is weird and stupid, right? And so it's unbaked. It's not done properly. So I would just like, it sucks for Pokemon Company. It sucks for Nintendo. It sucks for the employees
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than anything else. But I would just say, as like a Pokemon fan out there, just like mute it, get rid of it, and I don't think don't let it hold any salt for you.
Yeah. That's a good word. Well, moving on. Nintendo this week told us this quote: "Stay tuned for 2025 if you are a NSO Plus Expansion Pack member," which comes conspicuously on the heels of the announced playtest that is going to be going on over the next couple of weeks. In which they said we will be testing a new feature for NSO Plus Expansion Pack. Of course, like anything, when Nintendo says something and there's no concrete info behind it, speculation has run wild. That this could be anything from GameCube games to TurboGrafx and Atari and all the missing like Neo Geo, all the missing systems from Virtual Console.
Stay tuned for Donkey Kong 64.
So it's just gonna be streaming Donkey Kong 64.
Like that is the world of the hunger right now of the Nintendo fan. That like these which by the way is just a really good promotional of they may have no plans at all yet, but there's like stay tuned, we're gonna do stuff because guess what? They probably said in 2023, stay tuned next year for more stuff. And what
Stay
they give you?
tuned
We just got
for more stuff.
We just got Banjo.
What stuff?
Right?
What stuff?
So, I don't think they're going to write a copy that says, "Hey, you should probably turn off your Switch and it's so now," right? It's all about wanting to retain people. And by the way, their Christmas package, their holiday package includes a lot of NSO, and I think it's like longer extensions on the subscription and the expansion.
I noticed that.
So they're continuing.
Yeah, I think every bundle will have a year of individual with expansion.
And Mario Party Jamboree today came with 3 months of NSO.
Yeah, so they're pushing hard on. Now that's not to say I don't think they're not going to do anything. They are definitely going to do something. But I think that again, and I'm going to go back to ladies and gentlemen, like episode 1 in Nintendo Dads. Say it with me now. High
hopes,
low
expectations.
Right? So if you're all like, GameCube and Wii emulators, just remember, I said Donkey Kong 64. All right?
Yeah,
I said it, and that's where you should put your bar. Just be okay that in 2025, that's what you're going to get. And if you think that's what you're going to get, everything else after that is just gravy,
Ninfrendo says the playtest is for Balloon Fight 99.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Right?
I would play that. Do not toy with my emotions. I would play Balloon Fight 99. I will play anything. If they made Gyromite 99, I would play it.
My uncle at Nintendo already told me what's going to be coming.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
So I'm sorry, Nintendo. I have to tell everybody because my uncle at Nintendo and my aunt at EA told me that EA Sports is coming to the Nintendo Switch NSO.
It's finally NHL 94 playtest.
It's NHL 94.
That's what it is.
Classic.
It's the game.
Playing it.
That's so weird because my uncle from Xbox told me that it was Game Pass Portal finally showing up on the Nintendo Switch Online.
What if we're all right? Yep. What if it's just everyone's here?
Everyone's here. Yeah.
Now you can stream PlayStation games on your Nintendo Switch.
You can download the remote play. There you go.
Mikey Burgett calls it Netflix. I thought Netflix was already on it.
No,
it's not. I think I made that joke the other week.
Yeah.
Hey, so before we move on and talk about release news,
it's Paramount Plus is what it is.
Yeah. Before we get to these release notes, there is a little bit of breaking news that I didn't notice when we put our doc together earlier today. Universal Orlando just announced that Super Nintendo World will open May 22nd, 2025 in what is being called the Universal Epic Universe. 5 immersive worlds, 1 amazing theme park.
And that's where we're all meeting next year. No, I'm kidding.
No, so that'll be May 22nd of 2025. You can visit Universal's social media to learn more, but they show some concept art from the top and a top down, and so the 5 worlds that they're talking about are the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, which is a new area. The How to Train Your Dragon Island of Berk, the Dark Universe, which is their Universal Monsters, and kind of the universe that they started with. What was that movie that came out a few years ago? The Mummy. Was it the Mummy the re-envisioning of the Mummy with Tom Cruise?
Yeah, with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that was the first movie of the Dark Universe. Well, it wasn't bad, Justin. It wasn't too bad. I heard it was bad, and then I went, and it was better. Celestial Park, and Super Nintendo World, and the overhead shot seems to show that the Donkey Kong area will open at the same time as the Mario area. There,
Ladies and gentlemen, reporting live from Florida, Jocelyn Massey at the Donkey Kong.
So you can go check that out and go to the website with a little more information at Universal ORL on X, Twitter, whatever, any of their social medias. So rounding out the news with a little bit of release news and updates on releases out now. We forgot to mention last week that F-Zero GP Legend and F-Zero Climax for GBA were out last Thursday, and is still available now. Of course, Climax is the previous title that was previously not released outside of Japan. Out soon, announced tonight, right as we were getting ready to go on the air. Banjo-Tooie coming to Nintendo 64 next week on October 25th. That's about 8 days away.
Stay tuned for more games in 2024.
There you go. Stay tuned for 2025, Banjo 3. And then Tetris Forever, which is the collection of all kinds of different versions of Tetris that got announced earlier this year, is out November 12th. And if you'll remember when they announced that in the Partner Direct, they also announced that Tetris, the original NES version, would be coming to NSO. I would be willing to bet that date is the same day that that's coming out as well, or close to it.
Likely. Just hasn't been announced yet, but likely.
Yeah. No, it will be a weekly announcement like these games have been. Sadly, Anton Blast, which we've had a demo of for quite a while, that was supposed to launch in November, has now been pushed back to December 3rd. And that is because of the hurricanes that have come through. They say development team says all staff is okay, but the problem is they have had lowered ability to work due to extended power outages. So it has had an effect on the game, which is kind of sad because Pizza Tower kind of already stole its thunder, and then now a release date getting pushed steals a little bit more. I mean,
well, I don't know. Like it pushes a little bit further from Pizza Tower, which means it doesn't feel like it's completely the same mind space, but only a month. Also, probably at this point in the Nintendo process, they were probably in certification, right? So they were probably like in the final stage, which is why the delay is really shorter, right? It's only a month, not several months. They were probably in the final stages of it for sure.
Absolutely.
Marty, you completely and maybe you're about to say it because I don't have the dock open. You missed one of the biggest announcements for games that have finally actually hit after what also feels like 10 years and 500 episodes of us being whining about it. Chicken Wiggle, better known now as Hatch Tales, finally is
out.
Nintendo.
It's on the 22nd.
eShop.
But backers have their codes.
Copies, correct. Backers have their codes.
Backers have their codes.
Which I am going to say, as someone who has backed a lot of Kickstarters on Nintendo products, this is the first time that I've ever got my code substantially in advance of the actual release of it.
Yes, and
so I know
kudos to them for doing that, because
over the coals.
I really feel like that was a gesture of we're trying to make up for some things here. It also doesn't hurt. Like as media, we're not supposed to like really review it or anything until the 21st, but he says it's okay to talk about it some. It also doesn't hurt that it's actually kind of fun. Like that, it's a pretty well put together game. And if you're a backer, you didn't see this, you need to scan the email with your code a little bit better, because there's a secret code you can put in to actually unlock the Chicken Wiggle game that we were all promised. With two modes, you can play it with the new updated graphics and sound, or you can play the original.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and the Hatch Tales part of it comes loaded with 24 pages of extra levels.
Yep. So, and it is really easy to miss that information because you can get all excited about getting your code if you backed it. And then go right in and play it. Cause I did a first look of it, which will drop on the 21st. But I completely missed the end of the email where it said, put in this code and you'll be able to unlock it. So in my first look, I'm like, there's a place in here I'm supposed to be able to see the Chicken Wiggle stuff. It's
And
like,
I will
how
say-
do I see it?
I'll give them props too that when you put the code in once, it's unlocked from then on.
Yeah,
And you can
it's pretty cool.
freely swap back and forth between games. So
Yeah.
here's the deal. Like I'm not gonna sit down and play 5 hours of Hatch Tales or 5 hours of Chicken Wiggle. But for a game that I can jump into for a little bit, it's good. I backed it at $10. I'm getting my $10 worth out of it. So I was going to talk about that later, but thanks for going. I mean, it's coming, and like it's good to know that like people are actually playing it. Like, people who've backed this at high levels, hopefully will eventually get everything that they were supposed to get. Tim,
Yes. Yep. And
Right.
that was for me, it was a second code along with some other stuff too. But I got
Yeah.
the second code, and which actually reminds me, I said I was going to give it away the next day, and I forgot to spin
Well,
the wheel for
we're
it.
gonna do
I've
that.
got I've got a spare second code as well, by the way, Tim. So
Cool.
Okay,
a couple
cool.
codes.
So we can do
Well,
it a couple times. But yeah,
yeah,
I'll make sure
hey.
and go in there, and we'll give those to people.
How about you know what we should do? You know what we should do with one of those codes? Can I just
Sure.
We'll just spitball right here? Is people who are in the chat watching us live here.
Yeah.
Take
All
those
right.
names down and give away one there.
Yeah. All right. Can we do that? Can we randomly select a name in our Twitch chat there?
By the
or
end.
our
By the
YouTube
end. It'll
chat?
give people time, you have
All
till
right.
the end of the show to get in. Here's a couple more release dates. Tomb Raider is getting another set of remasters. 4 through 6 will be remastered out February 14th, 2025, just in time for Valentine's Day, guys. And speaking of dating, Date Everything has also been delayed until that day. This is that bizarre dating game where you can date inanimate objects that turn into husbandos
That's
and
right.
waifus. That's going to be on February 14th, 2025. I remember watching that on the last direct or thing, and my wife happened to walk into the room as that was being shown, and her exact words standing behind the couch were, "What in the crap is this?" And yeah, so there we go.
Fair.
That is appropriate, I think.
Yeah. Also, one more Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection is out February 27th, 2025, and you too can play your blue-eyed white dragon card. You've activated my trap card. You can do that
Yep.
February 27th.
That's
one
how
day
it works.
Before the end of the month. So that is our news, guys. Let's discuss.
Do it.
Hey, Mikey Burgett also reminded us of this, that the Tomb Raider animated show is out on Netflix right now. He said the first episode is really not great, or it's kind of meh, but then it gets better from there. So he said, give it a chance. Like he's saying, give it a chance. Like let it go past the first one, right? Hey guys, so our discussion topic this week is 500 episodes.
Yay!
500 episodes. And for our question of the week, which Tim swooped in and saved my bacon on because I just totally forgot a question for this week. Seriously, I was trying to do 4 different things at once. I have a 20-minute video presentation for class that's due Monday that I had to get done today. Justin messaged me about our code for Mario Party Jamboree. So I was downloading that. It got stuck at 83%. My Switch was being weird and wouldn't download. Like it was like, we have gigabit download internet here. So, and I was like testing my internet on the Switch, and it was less than 1 megabit per second. And it would not, I don't understand what was going on. Everything else was working. But it finally kicked in and finished. My mom's calling on top of that because her identity got stolen earlier this over the weekend in a scam, which is, I want to punch people in the face. And then I was trying to eat lunch too. So
Wow.
yeah, it was a lot of stuff going on, and post the Patreon update or the weekly update for everybody. So Tim swoops in and saves the day with this question. We've been doing this for 10 years. Should we change anything?
Nobody answered. Nobody answered.
Literally nobody answered this.
There's a couple joke answers, but
Okay,
no.
well, we'll go through the messages that we got. We got quite a few. And we also got quite a few audio and video messages that at the end of this segment, we are going to play for you so that you can hear those and we can hear them. In fact, besides Tim, we're hearing these for the first time.
No, besides Jesse. I haven't heard him
Jesse,
yet either.
We're hearing
Yeah.
it. Okay,
I've consolidated them, and then Tim has the video to play,
Okay.
and he has not seen it yet.
Okay, great. Awesome. So we're going to see that and hear it live. So here are our responses. And by the way, if I butcher your name, I'm from the South and I don't talk too good. So that's my apology. I probably won't ever say your name right. I'll try, but I mean, you know.
You'll do a lot better than me.
It's not like I'm an actual host on the show since the very beginning, and I regularly mispronounce common Nintendo phrases and terms like someone does. Just a messing.
What do I mispronounce?
Everything.
That's
You'll be reading something and another word will come out of your mouth, and I'm like, no, it's not that word.
I didn't realize we were making fun of the fact I'm dyslexic.
Oh God! Now don't make me feel bad.
Man,
are you serious?
500 episodes, and like now we're sharing.
Are you serious?
You like throw me under the bus?
This is a throwback to the Donkey Kong thing that he told you to remove.
If this is true,
I'm not dyslexic.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna. If you were, I was seriously going to hit the leave button and be done. Like I was just going to turn my. I would just send an email to everybody and be like, "I'm done. Bye."
It did remind me of the whole Mario thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got grilled for that one.
11 out of 10, guys.
Even my daughter goes, "What did he say?"
It's part of my unique Canadian charm that has got us to 500 episodes. All right. So.
Okay.
You get the good with the bad.
Hey, I get
dyslexic.
it.
I thought you were Canadian.
Oh,
thanks.
All right, here we go.
Jax.
Simon Hawkins says, "Congratulations to all the dads, past and present. Here's to another 10 years." Jamie Pinnick says, "Congratulations on making it to 10 years, 500 episodes. Clap or praying hands. I don't know what that is, or maybe it's applause.
I think it's a clap.
Applause.
But
it is.
I like the idea that it's praying hands instead.
Yeah, it's just thank you. Please don't change. You guys are awesome just the way you are." Victorious GX says, "Well done on 10 whole years of these shenanigans. Never change in dads." Beer Bear Cerveza says, "Hey guys, just wanted to say congratulations on 500 episodes. This is an amazing accomplishment. Keep up the great work, and here's to another 10 years. C-Dub 5298, "Someone should expand their horizons and play less PICROSS games." Just kidding. Love you guys. Change nothing. Andy Penizik, "Wow, congratulations on 10 years of 500 episodes. I started listening back with the original group in, I believe, fall of 2014. My wife and I just moved into our home or to our hometown, and I was looking for something to listen to while painting the room in the house we bought. It's been a heck of a journey, guys. Thanks for all the years of entertainment and weekly installments." Quagmire, "Congratulations on episode 500. Here's to 500 more." Big Drew 412 says, "Congratulations, fellas, on reaching an incredible milestone of 10 years of 500 episodes. I've been a listener for just over 2.5 years, and I can't express how much I enjoy your work. Keep it up, and here's to another fantastic 10 years ahead." Chris HL94 says, "Congratulations to 10 years on 10 years and 500 episodes." And then we had some written messages here. Frosticles says, "Congratulations, guys, on your big 500. What a journey it has been. I've been listening since day one when I heard rumblings of the first NX rumors. I thought I'd like to get back into Nintendo and see what they've got after the Wii U train wreck. I was a Call of Duty fanboy then and found you guys, and you just released beta episode 1, and that was it for me. Wow. I went from one Wii U game to all first-party Nintendo games. I bought a couple of Amiibo, and I'm now at a full collection. You truly reignited my passion and love for the big N, so I thank you for that. In that time, we've laughed together while Justin taught me how to play Fortnite, 3 extra lives on the trot, and we've cried together collectively mourning the loss of the great Bobby Pauls. Who knows what the next 500 has in store for us, but I've no doubt it will be filled with more fun, happiness, and Nintendo love. Wherever we'll be in 10 years, we'll have got there together. Thank you for it all, guys. Wow.
That's, you know, that was and sorry, who was that? That was
That was Frosticles.
Frosticles. That is such
Jason.
a, yeah, Jason, that's such a good,
Or not Jason, sorry. Wait. Sorry, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say from Frosticles, that's such a good capsulation of, I think, our 10 years, right? And I think like my hope, like when people hear these things or listen, is that like you come here for a bit of escapism, have a bit of fun, right? Like have a bit of a laugh. You're passionate about what we are passionate about. You can respectfully disagree with us when you want to, challenge us when you want to. And I think the other part is that holistically just being authentic, right? Like, yeah, of course, we're sometimes just a little bit more caricatures, right, of ourselves, but like, I think the Bobby Pauls is a great example. Like, you know, authentically, that really hurt our community. That was really hard, right? And we all support each other through that, and that was a challenge, right? And there was a lot of respect for that. As you know, I know we didn't have episodes for, I think it was a couple weeks, right? As we sort of all kind of reeled from it as well. And
Yes.
I think the community like laughs, cries, grows
Mhm.
together, right? And so I think there's a lot of emotions. It's not just, hey, let's talk about the latest Zelda game, right? There's a lot of that is the common thing that brings us together, right? That's the Venn diagram overlap. But really what keeps us there is the relationships, right? Is the genuineness and the authenticity. And man, that's such a really great capture of our journey, Frosticles. And so thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being part of that, and thank you for everyone's obviously, but like that was a really good
That is,
capture of that.
and that is
Uh,
Jason. Isn't
yeah,
Jason,
yeah.
just
yeah.
threw me off because the next
Jason
one is
Frost.
from Jason as
That's
well.
let's be honest. That's the hard part. Is like I know everyone by their like their screen
Yeah.
Yeah.
name, so they're like, oh, it's Mark, and you're like, I don't know who Mark is. Oh, it's blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, that person. Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
wanted
Sorry, go ahead,
to
Mark.
just kind of jump in here and say this, that the whole thing with Bobby, that when we heard that he was in the hospital and was not doing well, but and that he was just struggling. Um and then it was hard. It was hard, because I mean he had provided so much joy and support and love for so many people that were in our podcast circle. I guess circle, what do you want to call it? Circle of influence, or just the people that you're our circle, the people that we
Yeah,
were around, the people that kind of all started
The community of
podcasting and
communities.
the community, I guess is a way of saying.
yeah,
And then we heard, hey, he's coming, he's turned a corner, he's getting better. And um, that's when I first reached out to you, and I was like, look, I know that dude, he's been in the hospital for like months. He's going to have some huge medical bills. So what if we did something for him? And you were like, you know what? Let me talk to Sean. Let me talk to Adam and John, and let's get some people together, and let's float that idea out there. And it turned into gaming for Guru.
yeah,
That we did, and it was like a whole weekend of streaming to raise money for Bobby and his family. And I think it was Sean, got to talk to him at least via Zoom or something, and share
Yep.
with him about what was going on, and what was, that we had raised this much money, and that like his face was on a t-shirt and mugs, and people were buying it and supporting it, and then it was, I'll never forget, like I was driving home from taking my daughter to dance on a Saturday. I know exactly the stretch of road that I was on, and you call, and like your number popped up and your name popped up on my phone, and I was like, Justin doesn't call.
No, don't call.
Yeah, I was like, you don't call because like of the fees, and everything. And I said, and I just told, I remember my wife, she was sitting, in the passenger seat, and I said, this is not good.
I was also driving too when
Yeah,
Justin called me.
and it was, I will
He
never
told me to
forget.
pull over.
Yeah.
So
Um, terrible, terrible news. But I mean, look at the impact that Bobby had,
Yeah,
that we're still talking about
yeah,
him, that people still
yeah,
remember him, that people are
yeah,
still like, when
he's
they
in a
create,
game.
yeah, he's in a
yeah,
game, he's in a video game.
yeah.
Um,
I
just
I
a,
think. I think the one thing that stands out for me in that is the demonstration of the community. I think in that situation, right? To for those who didn't even maybe have the same relationship that we did, right? They're sort of like we knew Bobby through these individuals, right? Or we know of him and he was a guest, and obviously we had a close relationship. But to show up and to be able to support the streams like that and fundraisers like that is incredible. And I think that's one of the things that I've observed about the Nintendo Dads community for 10 years and 500 episodes is that the community shows up in ways that
Yeah.
at times just like fills me with like joy in a way, and pride, maybe the wrong feeling there, but like, I think of all the extra life campaigns that we have run. Now we don't run them every year, right? We run them every couple of years. But our count is, what is it? Well over 15, like $25,000. I think it's $30,000 that our Nintendo Dads community have collectively raised for Extra Life over the 10 years, like $30,000 in Children's Miracle Network hospitals because we all like to sit around and play video games and have a bit of a laugh, right? Are you for real, right? Like that's the thing that like I'm so proud of. I think the other part of it, sort of interestingly enough, and I think as sort of um the ones behind the scenes, I think, and just a little bit of transparency or like pull the curtain back. We know that there are people in our community who've gone through some really tough situations, right? That may not be public. And so, sometimes we have messages in the background of like, hey, let's do something for this person, right? And not to float boats and make people feel amazing, but just quietly behind the scenes, right? Can we do this? Can we help out? Who can we chat? This came through. How do we do these things? That's a community that just genuinely cares about each other, which I think is absolutely incredible. And recognize that whether it's a podcast, whether it's gaming together, whether it's playing a game, there's a level of escapism, right? And that you want to support people in those things. And so um, we're blessed, right? That again, we've only created a frame, right? And the community fills it in. And the community lets it be what it wants to be or should be. And I think what has always stood out for it is the heart of these individuals, right? The heart of every single person in our community, the passion, the empathy, the compassion for others. And I think that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, just personally, there's been a couple of times that this community has really reached out to me,
Yeah.
and I like, you would think, well, that's the benefit, that's a benefit or a whatever of you being a host on the show. You're more visible. But I've seen this community do things for people that are just, I want to say just, because that minimizes it, but they're members of the Discord
Yeah.
or they're people who we know are having a hard time,
Yep.
But if you're like people who are new to the show, like I started in 2016, at the tail end, came in November, right before was right around the NX reveal,
Yeah.
but before the full on press conference. Um, and so I hadn't been in the community long. And in December of 2018 it was the week that Smash launched, or maybe it was that 2017. I can't remember. But it
Yeah, I
was
think 2018.
2018 Smash launched, and that week, my wife had a miscarriage. People reached out to us. What do you need? What can we do for you? When my dad passed 2 years ago, about this time, what do you need? What can we do for you? There was a time where I was really struggling with some stuff, and I just out of the blue, somebody contacted me and were like, "Hey, there's some of us who got together and pulled some money. Here's a eShop card. Go get you something."
Yeah.
I didn't ask for that, but and still, like, there's people who will be like, "Hey, I'll get a message, you know, hey, y'all show really helped me through a hard time. Thank you for doing what you do." And that's what makes it worth it. Like,
Yeah.
I know this is a hobby for us, but to know that people connect with it and continually connect with it, and sometimes, have connected with it for like Jason. Like I've been here since the beginning. Woo! Boy, has he seen changes, right? Thank you. If you've been here one day or all of the days, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Let's read a couple more of these. Jason, who is Jay Talica on Discord, I love that name. He says, congratulations on reaching episode 500. I've been listening to the show for 6 or 7 years now, I think, and it's always one of the highlights of my week. One of my favorite memories of the show is the old Euro Boys episode with Justin and Gary. Being based in the UK myself. All the best, and here's to the next 500. And he includes a photo or a picture of Link 182.
Nice.
It's like the Blink
Oh my
182
God.
mashed up with Link.
Euro Boys. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Why like me and Gary had a whole full song set. Like we had some like it was just absolutely ridiculous. But that I mean, you 3:30 in the morning, my brain's barely functioning, right? And we're coming with these ridiculous like uns the Euro Boys. Yeah, okay.
I mean, let's look.
Yeah.
I'm glad you just went there, because I mean, let's talk about some of this stuff that I mean, people may not know.
Yeah.
Justin lived in Ireland for 2 years and would get up at what time was your alarm going off?
My alarm was going off at like 2:30 in the morning.
2:30. He would
'Cause
sit
I'd
at his
log in at
kitchen
3.
table. He would sit at his kitchen table and we would watch the sunrise behind him as we talked.
Yeah.
He would have his
Yeah,
tea.
but by the end of the show was the sunrise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, and sometimes he was like, guys, look, I got to go get ready for work. I'm sorry. Y'all keep talking.
Yeah.
He did that, talk about, and he probably wouldn't want anybody to say anything about this, but who has been here and recorded every freaking one of these episodes? Jesse
Waldack.
Ooh, what?
I mean, like, has gone through
I think
countless recording setup
yeah.
revisions, computer updates that have borked his system 6 hours before recording, and he's frantically putting stuff together. He
sometimes like 2 hours.
paid for and hauled a buttload of sound equipment to New York so that we would be able to stream from there in any contingency, plus record in that apartment. And Tim, like, coming in from shadow community manager to like, I mean, like, I really think now, like, one of the most human parts of our show. People
and I was
connect
like
with you, Tim. Like, and you connect with people, and it's pretty cool to watch.
And Tim always like humbly like sits in the back because he's like, I'm just happy to be here, guys, and watch the show. And you're like, you are part of the show. Stop thinking that you're just watching.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't. But I mean, like I said, it's you guys. There was a foundation there that you guys had to lay. So I respect that foundation. So, and it's basically acknowledging that there, so.
I remember coming onto the show that at like that November, and like for the first 6 to 8 months, they'd be like, so what do we would talk about after the show. It's like, all right, we're going to do this, this, and this. What do you guys think? And I would just sit there. I don't think anything, because I didn't want to say, like, I didn't want to like be like, oh, well, he's coming in the show trying to change everything, I didn't want that. But eventually you find your voice, and you find out where, you can make those suggestions, and then you find your place.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I want to go back to Jesse for a second, right? And like honestly, and I bust Jesse's balls all the time, right? Like that's sort of the Nintendo Dad's Justin, business Justin character, right? Like who paid for your PT or time off, or like just all that? Who proved that? But in all genuineness and authenticity, like Jesse is legitimately like the heart that gets this thing going.
Absolutely.
We had like Zach and I were like, we should do a podcast. Like, you know how to make a podcast? No, we know someone who does though, right? And so that was like, and so like the first time I got a phone call with Jesse, episode 1 was the very first time we ever met. So I don't know this person from Adam, right? And so let's just see what happens. But and you always make the comment of like Nintendo employee, 7 years or well, it's 10 years now, right? Nintendo Dad Employee of the Month 10 years running, because legitimately, like all this, like the work that Jesse does behind the scenes that you see, the amount of times I've recorded a podcast in a phone, right? Like on a car ride somewhere and the audio is absolute shite, right? The amount of times I've cussed on a show and Jesse's like, I gotta go back and timestamp that. Right. And I'll just send him a file and like, hey, can you make this, yeah, can you make this sound good? Right. And he's okay. Like he does all of those things. Like he's the unsung hero of all of this.
Can we
So
can we
yeah,
just do something like right here? Can we, Justin? Can we send and can we buy him a steak?
sure.
I mean, we talk about this 10-year, like employee of the month, like 10 years
Yeah,
running,
that's a good
or
point.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we just
Yeah,
make that a
I think that's
reality right
fair.
now,
Yeah, we can do that. Like Jesse, yeah, go have a steak dinner on us and just
please?
corporate card it back to us, right? We'll prove it. So
Like
Or
congratulations.
if you don't like steak, whatever.
Oh, I love
Jesse,
steak.
Well,
Jesse's
I
like,
mean, just what
it
if
was
it's
like,
like, but
yeah.
I mean, be sure that it stays to the approved rate of $29.95 or less.
Make sure you know your per diem limits, and we'll talk about it, right?
Don't exceed your per diem.
Yeah,
Quick,
exactly. But it is,
kind of quick side based, but reminds me of what back when we had business trips, pre 2020. We our works per diem was like $50 per day. We well we went to a steakhouse where like the cheapest thing on the menu was $70.
yeah.
Was it
So
Ruth's Chris?
no, it wasn't. I don't remember where it was,
The
but
most infuriating restaurant name of all time.
but
Ruth's
my
Chris.
my boss said, just do what order what you want. I'll take the heat for this one.
So
Ooh, wow. I like that.
Username should now be Marty's Estes.
Yes.
Justin's Massins.
Nintendo's dads.
Well, actually, I heard a story about why it's named that. There was a chain called Chris Steakhouse, and someone named Ruth wanted to have a Chris Steakhouse, so she named it Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and
Well,
then
there you
that
go.
became a chain.
Wow.
That's funny.
The amazing.
Don't know
lack
if
of
it's true.
creativity.
That's just what I heard.
Yeah. Hey, we got one more written message here. Koopa Kid 80 says, from the whole Koopa Kid 80 family, my wife and both of my sons, congratulations on episode 500. You should all be extremely proud to reach this milestone and be super happy with the quality and amount of content you have made through the years. A dumpster fire, it is not all.
Very
My
nice.
family and I have been loyal listeners and fans of the show since the Wii U days, 2016, 2017. And through the years, your content has meant so much to all of us. Your weekly banner and personality has gotten me through good times and bads, which include the birth of my second son, buying a house, transitioning through 3 jobs, family members unfortunately passing, and my oldest son's brain disorder / autism diagnosis and therapies. Tim, your gentle and good-hearted personality always brings a smile to our faces. Business Justin and his analysis and thought-provoking ideas of Nintendo always makes us think. Jesse, your wide range of tastes in games and technical know-how always makes us want to broaden our horizons. And Marty, your laugh and happiness over Nintendo always make me feel like I'm a kid again, and I want to talk on the playground with you about Nintendo news. My oldest son and I listen to your show every Friday morning on the way to schoolwork, and it is one of the highlights / memories we both will always cherish. Another memory of the show I will never forget is being on the show with Kelsey of the VGHF and being able to talk with you all about game preservation. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm now in my mid-40s, and I'm proud to be a fellow NINDAD with the rest of this amazing community. I hope and pray to continue to grow as a dad / a person and with the NINDADS community. 10 years from now, I hope to be congratulating you all on episode 1000. Keep up the amazing work, and God bless you and your family. Man,
That's awesome.
wow. Yeah, not much to say about that other than thank you. That's
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
humbling.
You never
Humbling.
know where we show up in someone's life, right? Where it's part of their routine, their schedule. It's funny. I used to remember like the amount of times like if we had to delay an episode and didn't put a message about it, people would be like, "Where's?" And you're like, seriously, we're working on it, right? But
Yeah.
it's part of routine, and again, I think this example of like
Yeah.
I listen to it with my family or listen to my kids, that like people want that thing because it's a part of being together, right? And
And
so
I think the last time that
Cross
happened is I had it uploaded and everything is ready. I just forgot to
yeah,
move it from draft to scheduled.
yeah.
So
Funny.
Friday morning, I
Oh.
saw the messages. I'm like, oh crap, let me fix that.
You know how many times I hear it when at the beginning when the ad-free episode wasn't on time because either I wasn't on the show or something happened too. It's like I remember hearing it too. So
All your fault, Tim.
it's always
All your fault. Well, we
it
have
was
some
Tim
other
all along.
messages that
Well,
we are going to play.
Should we like we got some things to give away? Do you want to like give away a couple things and play some messages and give away some
Yeah,
more stuff?
let's do that.
Right, Tim, we got some stuff to give away, right?
Yep. As mentioned before, we got the 5 mystery boxes, meaning
Ooh.
that we know what's going to go in the boxes, but we don't know who's going to get what box. So everybody's going to get some Nintendo Dad swag, but somebody's also going to get a cracked Nitro deck or I'm trying to remember it's 2 Nitro deck pluses. So
Nice.
somebody's going to get one and another person's going to get another. We have eShop cards. We have some Nintendo products and plushies and stuff that'll go in some of those boxes. So there's a variety of things. And the only thing we ask you is let us know what you got because we have no idea who's going to get what when they win these mystery boxes. So that's going to be fun for everybody, I think, because it makes it a little bit simplified, to where I can just make 5 boxes and send it out randomly because it's going to be basically I'm going to make 5 boxes and then I'm going to tell my kids mix up the boxes and then I'm going to label them. And then that way I have
So
no idea who's going to get
Tim
what.
is saying is if you get a box that's just got turds in it, then it's one of the mystery boxes. We're sorry. You got the surprise.
I put a Nintendo Dad sticker on the turd,
It's just turds in an Alarmo.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
so
It was hanging right there. I had to do it.
I can share the wheel of death. I mean, the wheel of prizes.
And so Tim, how are people entered into this? Let's talk about that.
It's basically it's the same list essentially that we had before. All our Patreons, all of our Twitch subscribers.
Perfect. Yeah. Awesome.
That we had before when we did the Zelda giveaway.
Yeah.
Love it. So let's give away. We got 5 boxes. Let's give away 2 of them now.
Look at that beautiful wheel.
Well.
Can you see the wheel and all the ads?
All the ads.
All right, there I closed the ads.
Yay.
All right. So there's the wheel going.
Those ads really did mess up the frame rate of that wheel.
All right, and what will happen is once you win, I will remove your name from the wheel so that you won't be on the wheel again when we go to draw.
I would highly doubt they would be able to get a second time on this one statistically.
Statistically. All right, so here we go. The first one, click spin.
Hey, it's actually spinning this time.
You spin me right round, maybe right round.
And the winner is Ninfrendo. Yes, Ninfrendo.
Hey, who's literally in our chat right now. I think he's still there.
He was. He was.
Ninfrendo, if you're there, let us know. Come on, chat it out, my friend.
Where's my notebook? Gotta make sure I write this down. If I don't write this down and I'm just spinning away,
I'll add it to the show notes as well.
Like, who won that?
Oh, Ninfrendo's in the chat. He said, nice.
All right.
Congratulations, Ninfrendo. Very common contributor to our chat, by the way. Thank you for always being here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Appreciate you. See some other really common folks in our chat right now. I see, of course, Chris HL94, Mikey Burgett, Victorus GX. Who else was in here? Thorny Fox is new. Let's see, who else is here? Steve Cullum, see you. Jiggy Collector, brand new. Thanks for being here. Who else is here? Well, they're all some great. Well, hey, listen, some of those are the greatest people ever.
All right,
So
I'm
that's awesome.
removing Ninfrendo from the board. And
Hey,
one more time,
next
right?
winner.
You said
One
do
more.
two?
Yeah, do two now.
All right. Next
One
winner
more.
is.
A winner is you. I can turn back time.
And it is House Hunter 83, Hoser Hunter 83.
Is that just
Well,
you?
what's going on?
Is that just you, Justin?
You a big hoser? I'm just hunting, eh? What's going on?
That's just you, isn't it?
I'm just a big moose hunter, you hoser. Let's get our 2-4 together. A little bit of maple syrup mooses, eh?
Yep.
Call me the
And
Great Canuck.
so again, DM me so I know who you are and can get your address and all that kind of stuff. And then that way I can get you out your prize. I will try to find a hoser hunter and reach out as well. But it also depends on where you're at. If you're on Twitch, it's a little bit harder to reach out, but I will do my best to try to reach out to people that win. But those are our prizes so far.
Congratulations, guys. That's right.
And actually, I said 5 mystery boxes. It is 5 mystery boxes, but there's also one really cool prize left as well that we are going to give away that we couldn't get today because it's still being worked on.
So got it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, I had that person message me last night.
Yep.
Too.
So, but we can still spin for the winner, and then once it's done, we can get it mailed out to you. We'll let you know what that is at the end. But there's 6.
100%. Yeah.
I don't think I know what
we've got some amazing...
going on. So
that's okay. That's all right. We'll talk about it off show. We've got some amazing additional audio clips and videos sent in from some of our favorite community members, content creators, and special guests that have occurred on the show. So let's play a couple of those maybe now.
All right, give me a second here. Let me go to the media player, share sound. And let me know when you're ready, Jesse.
Yep.
All right, here we go. And let me know if you guys don't hear it.
Hey, Nintendo Dads, this is John. Congratulations on 10 years, 500 episodes. That is an incredible number. I think I've been listening to, 300 something of those. But I tune in every week to hear Jesse talk about some nerdy programming game, which I love, and Tim playing 40 games per week, and one day Marty's going to finish The Last of Us, and Justin, you be you. Anyway, just wanted to say congratulations to everybody. Great job. You get me all psyched up. And now it's time to get to 1,000 episodes. Let's go! Congrats.
Hey guys, it's Michael Burgett from the Screen Nerds Podcast. I just want to congratulate y'all on making 500 episodes. It is a great accomplishment, super proud of y'all, and just wanted to share my congratulations with you. And thank you for being such a great content provider and supporter of other podcasts. I know that I remember finding you guys for the first time back nearly 10 years ago on Periscope, back when Periscope was a thing, and seeing, I think it was Justin who was doing pre-show stuff and catching one of his videos, and that's what got me on the radar of what the Nintendo Dads podcast was all about, and checking y'all out, and really just being interested in hearing what y'all had to say about video games and life and everything, and just such great content and such great people too, and really appreciative of how you guys are supportive of other podcasters. I know when I was doing Reactor Radio and now with doing Screen Nerds Podcast, y'all are always supportive, always wanting to share others and what they're doing and other content creators and helping them and supporting them. And so just wanted to thank you guys and congratulate y'all on 500 episodes, and hope that y'all continue on and that we get to see 500 more episodes and we get you to 1,000. So congratulations, guys.
I'll pause it there for now.
Yeah,
those two big ones.
That's great.
So I just put this in the chat, but if it wasn't for Michael, I wouldn't be on the show. He is the one who introduced you guys to me way back then. And I remember him messaging in the Reactor Radio chat, because we were both on that show. And he said, hey, there's this Nintendo show, and Marty, he's like, I think everybody would enjoy it, but Marty, you're really gonna like these guys. You need to check out Nintendo Dads. That's gonna fit right in the your sweet spot. Like they talk about fatherhood, they talk about Nintendo. You're gonna love it. And so I started listening, fell in love with the show, and this is gonna date us here. This was around the time that Super Mario Maker 1 came out, and you guys did a level exchange with the loser having to do promos for the other show, and y'all couldn't beat my level. So
It still haunts me.
And that's okay. It was a little, I'm sorry, it's a little diabolical. But that opened the door for me to start guesting on the show when you guys needed it, which led to, hey, Justin's leaving, Zach's leaving. We need somebody. What about you?
Yeah.
And yeah, here we are.
Yeah,
Thanks to Mike.
Yeah, that's great. I think, and I like Mike's comment as well, and actually a little bit of John's as well. And I think one of the things I like about this community and about it as well is that there's been a lot of content that's spun out that is not from us,
Yeah.
right? So I think of the Dads After Dark content that's been created. I think of obviously Star Wars Dads. I think of Dads Crossing. What was the Game Pass? Well, Game Pass News, right?
Retro Logic.
Retro Logic, like the amount of like what I really am excited about is the fact that folks have found other people who they want to create content with because of this community, and they go create content. Because I can reassure you that if these four idiots can do it, anyone can do it, right? You just got to find a Jesse, and you're fine. All right, so that's your quest there. But really, like I think that's the really cool thing that I think has spun out of it, and I think Mikey's comment before also about like helping other creators and like promoting stuff, like full believer that like the rising tide lifts all boats, right? And so when we came in this space, we didn't have people to really help promote. There was the same people who were all coming in at 2014. There was the Mega Dads, there was Sean, there was Bobby, right? We all kind of came in at the same time and tried to figure things out. And so wherever we can share those knowledge and that expertise and whatever we can kind of do to accelerate the ability for people to content create, because this is hard. Like, believe it or not, and I don't believe that if this was a one-person show, it would last 500 episodes. I don't believe it was a two-person show that lasts 500 episodes, right? Like the only reason that I believe this show has lasted as long as it has is because we have a rotating cast of hosts, right? Who are able to come in, come out. We have guests in, come in, come out, right? We have a community that can come in, come out when we need it. And that's allowed for it to be stabilized. If you're doing this one or two people, that is so much to try and lift, right? On top of everything else that you're doing. So to be able to just try and help others out, whether it's retweet, post, share, comment, engage, just kind of gives content creators a bit of spark, a bit of hope, and a bit of engage, and a bit of energy that we hope that they can use it. We can use it forward as well. So I'm glad that for Mikey, that's showing up that way, and that you feel that, and that's I would say not deliberate but intentional, if that makes sense, right? Is that our intent is to make sure that people feel included and feel valued and helped as well.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Nintendo Dads. This is Barry from Nintendo Fuse and Premium Edition Games. And this here is Barry Jr. Say hi, Barry Jr. And we want to wish the Nintendo Dads a very happy congratulations on 500 episodes and 10 years of podcasting. You guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. It's been an honor to join you and honor to call you guys my friends. So Jesse and Marty and Tim and Justin, congratulations, guys. And here's to another 500 more episodes.
Hey, it's Darth Platypus or Stan. I just wanted to wish you guys congratulations on your 10 years and 500 episodes, and I'm looking forward to the next 500.
Hey, Nintendo Dads, it's Drew. 500 episodes, 10 years. Congratulations, gents. I've been a fan listening for probably around 8 years or so, right before Marty joined. What a feat. Proud of you guys. Just say a few kind words. It's crazy to think back all these years and what you guys have done for me personally, right? We think back to the tournaments that we used to do together, which evolved into monthly mayhems, which led into Dads After Dark podcast for several years. I've created relationships and bonds that will last a lifetime. I mean, I got on a plane and flew across the country to meet people that I'd never met before because I've connected with them through you guys, Nintendo Dads on Discord. So you're so much more than a podcast. You're a community that is both giving and receiving. An absolute pleasure to be part of it. To say that I'm part of it is definitely an awesome feeling. So, gents, you've been doing it for a long time. I know you've come and gone through Dads. You've thought about changing things up. My advice to you that I've learned a lot from podcasting myself over the years and listening to you guys for so long is just keep doing what you're doing. You guys do it so well. You bring great news to the podcast. You bring your unique takes on video games you've been playing. You get the rumors out there. You guys are my number one stop for all of that thing Nintendo related. So don't change who you are. Don't think you need to change who you are. Just stay the course, have fun, and keep enjoying it. So with that, thanks again, guys, for the dedication that you give, at least to me and all of your fans, week after week. Cheers.
Barry,
So far. Yeah, Barry's up next. But
Oh,
any
man.
thoughts on those comments, starting with the previous Barry and Drew and Stan?
I think my memory of Barry is meeting him in New York for episode 400, right, 2 years ago, for Extra Life,
Yes.
and hanging out there, and just I think that was such a really surreal moment, I think, for us as well, of just having fans who literally spent their time and energy to meet us and come and hang out with us. And so I think it was Mecca brought like coffee. Someone brought coffee, right?
He
And
brought
It was
coffee and
Donuts.
Levain
And donuts.
cookies.
Yeah, and like
Cookies,
just hanging out and having a bunch of fun and connecting. Like that was a really surreal time. Yeah, and so and Barry's
Like that Pokemon Switch was coming out that day,
Yeah,
and so there
yeah.
was like people lingering around. That was so cool.
Yeah, and Barry was good to just like he's always just been good to kind of come on the show and share, and he's such a really unique content that he's creating as well, obviously in premium edition, and like that's really, I think, really cool stuff. And so you just get to meet, not just like people who are fans of the show, which is amazing, but also like, hey, I'm a content creator, or I'm building space, or I'm trying this thing, and I'm and how can we leverage, or how can we work with each other to elevate or highlight brands and highlight the work that's being done. So I think it's really cool. Yeah, and I think Drew's commentary, like some great, like I think Drew and John were such great examples, and still are, of people who are like passionate about doing something in the community, really passionate about offering something, making it more. I kind of look at John and Drew as sort of like our community host and hostess, right? Like, how's everyone doing? They're super engaged. They're really making sure everyone's having a good time. And they're so critical for that success, and putting together all their monthly mayhems, and like, we're the new Mario Golf is out, so we're gonna do a golf tournament, and like the chubby bracket, like really, I think creating events and activities intentionally for our community to be engaged in, whether you choose to or not to, right? But just somebody there doing that, and that takes a lot of weight off of our shoulders, right? And just makes it so much more engaging and so much more collaborative, and more of a community. And so they're so critical to our group, and so we're so thankful for them.
One of the things you mentioned too, going back to the New York trip when we got to meet up in front of Nintendo, I want everybody to realize how truly awesome this was, because we're in New York, hanging out in front of the Nintendo store in a area with picnic tables, taking over a spot in New York to do a Nintendo Dads get together. The weather was nice, and we had all the right things just kind of play into that moment, and just like, yeah, that picture. So yeah, I have that on this too. So, but yeah, it's just thinking of that, like, that's New York. People don't just take over spaces in New York. We took over that space, and we're lucky to be able to do that for a good chunk of time there, because we were waiting to be able to go in the Nintendo store, and then a few of us went in and out whilst people were still outside hanging out talking, and then another group would go in and another group coming out. So it was great. It was
Yeah,
super
that was
awesome.
that was such a cool day as well. I'm sure we'll talk more about that in this episode as well. But yeah, that was pretty incredible.
Yeah. All right, here's Barry Dunn.
What do you get when you get 4 dads who love Nintendo? You get Nintendo dads. Lads, congratulations on 10 years, a decade of Nintendo dads, and 500 episodes of your podcast show as well. Incredible, such an achievement. Well done, love you all, and see you soon. Bye.
Hey everybody, it's Kit from Kit and Chris. I want to say a very big congratulations to the Nintendo dads for reaching 500 episodes over 10 years. That is an incredible accomplishment. I hope Krista and I can get there one day, but we have a long way to go. We also remember Nintendo dads when we were getting starting out. They were one of the very first podcasts to bring us on, to welcome us, to talk about all the new stuff that we'd be doing. So we really appreciate that. But yeah, congratulations again. It's a big accomplishment, but I know you have a lot more great stuff in your future. Congrats, guys.
Nintendo dads, this is Spider Shan. Just wanted to say congrats on 500 awesome episodes. That is incredible. I discovered the podcast over COVID when I needed more to listen to. I loved that you guys were talking about Nintendo, but even more so, I loved that you talked about being a parent, and that was exactly what I needed. So thank you so much for that. And also for an amazing community where I have met some amazing friends and led to a bunch of awesome opportunities, like being a Star Wars dad, being on RetroLogic, doing first look videos, the table, NSO nights, so much. Love it. It's incredible. And I'm hoping for another 500 amazing episodes, and I'll be there the entire way. My only regret, that I didn't find you guys sooner. All right, take care.
Oh, I'll save this one to start the next one.
So let me start out there. The Kid Ellis one that got me like that. What a surprise! I remember bringing up to the guys when we had them on. Like before we had them on, I was like, "Hey, so Kid and Krista, they're doing a podcast. What do you think?" And I forget who it was, but one of you guys were like, "Yeah, we can ask them, but they're probably not going to do it."
Yeah, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot.
But you can shoot your shot if you want to. I was like, I'll do it. So I just messaged, I think it was Kit. I messaged Kit and I was like, hey, we know you probably are busy, but we would love to like connect and have you on the show if that's possible. And the next message I got back was not, let us check our calendar or let us find a way to fit you into our incredibly busy schedule. It was like, absolutely, let's do this. Let me talk to Krista and we'll figure out times and we will tell you, like the days that are best for us. And we absolutely would love to be on your show. And that was huge for me, like, because like, I don't know if like, I don't sitting here on 500 episodes and having experienced what we have over the last few years, New York and Extra Life and doing all those things and having people reach out to us. I don't know that I needed a lot of validation, but like to know that there's people who were like at Nintendo who knew who we were and like saw the contribution we were making. And we're like, oh yeah, you like, they told us then it's like, yeah, we've heard your names before. Like, the name of the show and stuff like that. Like, there's people at Nintendo who listen to you guys. Like that was a huge, like, like for me, it was the question, is this real life?
Yeah,
right.
and I think the funny part about that one is that like you kind of think, oh, they're blowing smoke, but the interesting part of it was that there was actually several other Nintendo reps that we knew and had conversations with in different ways, some DMs and some different stuff that they were like, no, we really enjoy your show here. Like we are aware of it, we listen to it, we appreciate. And I was like, you're full of it, right? But you start to get, it's like, okay, enough these puzzle pieces seem to be fitting together. I'll share a bit of a funny story with Barry, right? So obviously when I moved over to Ireland, Barry was in Ireland as well. And so we would actually go to a couple conventions together and hang out. And it was great to just spend a lot of time with him. When I moved back to Ireland, we still had, or from Ireland to Canada, we still had contact with Nintendo of Europe. And so Nintendo of Europe would send us physical stuff, right, to promote. And they sent me a message and said, hey, we'd like to send you the Nintendo Switch Lite. What address should I send you to this to? And at this point, I'm back in Canada, so they're not going to send it to Canada. So I had them ship it to Barry, where I had Barry do a first look of it, opens it up, unboxes it, gets the video all together, films the whole thing, and then I had him ship it to me in Canada afterwards to own. And so that one always made me laugh a little bit. He was pretty upset. He's like, I could have just kept it. I was like, you could have, but I had to ship it to me. So yeah, that was my funny Barry story. Barry's great.
Inside baseball.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it wasn't me who said that, Marty, just to let you know. I know it wasn't me because I was like, I was definitely like, I didn't even know about it until you, I think, said that you guys got it. Come on.
It sounds like it would have been either Justin or me. I don't remember.
Yeah, probably me. It was probably Jake at that point.
Yeah. So
that
was super cool to get them.
But we've heard this story before. I doubt he'll come, but it doesn't hurt to ask. And then they said, sure, why not? Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very exciting for me to be able to talk to somebody who actually worked at Nintendo, because we've always joke about, hey, who at Nintendo can we get on? Like we joked about it here for the 500th episode.
Yeah,
who can we get from Nintendo to come talk about it?
We wanted Reggie, we wanted Bill Trinan, we wanted everybody.
Yeah.
So I think this, like, as we're about to move on to Zach here, I think this is an appropriate place to share this brief story from our chat. This is hilarious. Quag311 says, my Nintendo Dad story is Big Daddy Zach read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" with Nintendo Flair. I read it to my kids on Christmas Eve, and it sparked a fight, and that's why I can't support you guys on Patreon.
I want to know. I want to know more about that fight and what happened there.
Yes. That's good. There's some other good stories here, just little snippets. Defunci Lucio says, yeah, 500. Nintendo released a clock to celebrate all the time that's flown by for you guys. And then Nifredo says, I'd like to thank my parents for this award. Defunci also says, you guys helped me with sound editing stuff, and a question I asked a while ago. I had a recent video hit 1,000 views, which for me was a lot. Thank you for the help.
Nice.
Awesome.
Love it. Shall we move on?
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to play Zach, but you know what? Let's give away another prize. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
All right. Let me switch over to
and I know there are folks in the chat who are literally wondering if Zach was coming back for today's episode as well. So,
yeah. Quack says, oh, snap. Here he is.
Yeah.
We've got some Zach for you.
All right. You guys ready?
Yes.
Yep. Prize number 3.
Spin that wheel.
No whammy.
No whammies. I was going to say it.
Oh! It's Nick.
Nice.
I like it.
Nick Metzger. All right. He's going to be removed. And now we'll go back to Zach now. All right. All this switching and stuff.
You're doing great.
All right, here we go.
Nintendo Dads, 500 episodes in 10 years. It is I, Zach Erickson, by the way. Wow, congratulations. I know Justin and I and Jesse, way back in episode 1, if we would have known back then that this would have continued for this long, what a world, man. That's so cool. I think about where I was in my life 10 years ago, and I was living in Lethbridge. Justin and I were at a Tim Hortons talking about how to start a podcast. And it's been so awesome to watch the community grow and to see everything going on. Way back in those days, we were looking forward to like Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. That game's still going strong. Imagine Mario Kart 8 when it first came out versus where it is now. All these, it's weird that they're supporting that game for the
quarter of the tracks.
But anyways, that is amazing. Congratulations. You guys are awesome. And what a cool thing to be a part of something that's still going strong today. It's just amazing. So thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for continuing the legacy. And most importantly, just like thanks for being a really positive, healthy, strong community with so many people who clearly continue to appreciate everything that you do. myself included. Thanks for everything, and here's to another 10.
Greetings, my brothers from another mother. My good friends over at Nintendo Dads, man. 500 episodes in the book, man. That's crazy, but I'm so glad that I am able to be a part of you guys' legacy. I was on a couple of those episodes. But, man, I just want to say, you guys, man, tell you congratulations, man. I love you guys' content, man. You guys have got a lifelong fan. And I look forward to my next appearance on the show. I got to schedule that. But I'm looking forward to seeing you guys with a new Nintendo system coming. And I'm being able to see even more dynamic content from you guys on your channel, man. God bless you guys, man. Once again, congratulations on 500 episodes. I look forward to 500 more. Peace.
Hi, Dads. It's Simon from Wakefield in the UK. And I'm just wishing you happy 500th show. It's a great milestone. Well done. And I've been listening for a long time. I think my first show, the Dads included Gary as a presenter. So, yeah, it's been great. And I just wanted to say happy anniversary and keep up the good work.
All right, I pause it there. I think that was the end of it because I wanted to stop it for the next one. All right, so that was Zach, Gaming Dad, and Simon. So what'd you think of Zach's words there, guys?
They were words.
Yeah, it's great to see Zach. One of my favorite memories of Zach was Nintendo Dads had just started. I think we were maybe a year or two into it. He was, I think, still in Lethbridge, and so we actually went up to the Calgary Expo, and Charles Martinet was at the expo, and so we
was that
went
one?
and listened to a panel,
Okay.
and Zach brought his son,
Yes.
who is the voice at the end of Nintendo Dads. Thanks for watching Nintendo Dads. Like what you got the bumper, I'm sure, Jesse, somewhere, right? Where is it?
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Yeah, that's Zach's son, right? And so we had an opportunity to go we did a session, or Charles Martinet did a workshop, and we sat and just like dumbstruck listened to that. Went for an autograph signing with him as well, and we had this he did an amazing sound clip, right? That we have somewhere in our files as well that we paid for, which was pretty incredible. And then we did a photo session with him as well, and it was just really cool and surreal, and that was sort of part of our journey as we began through Nintendo Dads. And then again, I was just like, I met the voice of Mario. That's super cool, right? Things that you wouldn't expect, and Zach, just a great person to connect with and to have as a host. And I know a lot of the community were definitely upset that he left, right? He was such a really good, I think, voice as well, but everything kind of evolves, and he's doing great in Edmonton. And it's been, we've been able to have him come on in different ways in different capacities, and the seat is always offered for him if he wants to come back and guest more, or whatever his time allows him to do. I know he's very busy with other stuff as well, and his family has grown, and other hobbies as you do. And so, I can tell you right now that when we sat at Tim Hortons and began to have a conversation about doing a podcast together, no idea that we would ever get to this point, right? Like it just had no hope.
I have that Charles Martinet clip ready. It is dated end of April 2016, so about a year and a half in.
Yeah.
Let's
hear it. Yep.
Super Zach, hello Super Jesse, hello Super Justin, it's me, Mario, yahoo, mamma mia, I'm here with my brother Luigi. Hello, it's me, Luigi, that's right, the Mario Bros. We just wanted to say, you guys, you number one, woohoo, number one, seeing our games is whoopee.
That's awesome. Oh, we did ask him, I think he used to say, like, could you say Nintendo Dads is the number one podcast? And he's like, I can't do that. Like the number one Nintendo Pod is like, I can't do that. I was like, okay, that's fair. So yeah, it was pretty good though. It was really special.
Yeah, that is super cool.
Yeah.
And I still have that. It was a Patreon bonus where you could get a signed Nintendo Dads thing where you
Yeah.
guys all signed it and all that fun stuff. So I still have that.
Yeah. Simon, I think it's interesting for just again behind the curtain of Nintendo Dads. UK is like our number 3 in regards to most downloads, most views as well. We very heavy actually. Actually, I think it might be number 2. We're actually heavy in the US, obviously, is where our strong contingent is for our demographics. Actually, pretty sure the UK is number 2, and then Canada's like number 3. So it's interesting.
Australia's got to be there somewhere too.
Australia's pretty high there too. But I mean, I think having Gary on was a great opportunity as well as he continued as he hosted for us, and yeah, it was just fantastic, and yeah. So thanks for sharing that, Simon. I appreciate it. And Gary's kind of going through his own stuff for life as well. He stepped away from podcasting and gaming for a bit, but similar to Zach, anytime a host leaves, like
they're hosts for life.
We never close. Yeah, we never close that door, right? If Gary or Zach ever message and say, "I'd love to pop on the show and just chat about the game I'm playing or connect," then man, our door is always open. Yeah. So
and
go ahead.
It kind of goes with what Gaming Dad is too. Is like ever since he's been on, we're a huge fan of his and love his content, what he does every Monday. And he's been on for a few times, and that's why we've left like an open invitation for him and some other guests like that too, where it's like, hey, anytime you want to come back on, you're welcome to come back on. And and just to get his point of view on things, the Gaming Dad's point of view on things has always been helpful, and especially when it comes to hot topics that we brought him on for. So
yeah, we have great content creator friends, right?
Yeah.
Great community,
Yeah, for sure.
and so it's always lovely to have those options and support.
Plus, it helps. Gaming Dad is from Michigan too, so
Yeah, there you go.
All right, here we go. The next one. I had to try to stop it before I played because I think this next person is going to be the same effect that Marty had, but for Justin.
Hey, it's Victor Lucas from the Electric Playground, and I've just heard that Nintendo Dads has hit 10 years in production and 500 episodes. Congratulations to Justin and to everybody involved with Nintendo Dads. That is absolutely wonderful, and it must be so freaking rewarding to be able to look back on all of these episodes and all of that work and all of that commitment to this project and to watching these episodes come together. I know what that feels like. It's really incredible to be proud of all of that stuff that you've been able to contribute into the world. And I hope you're having as much fun today making new episodes, and that you've got a plan for many, many more years and many more episodes of Nintendo Dads. It's wonderful stuff. I'm very proud of you. Congratulations, everybody. And I can't wait to have you guys back with the Rockin' and Reagan Awards for Electric Playground at the end of the year. Thank you, guys. All the best, and play forever.
Oh, hey, it's Seth here from the Nintendo Voice Chat podcast. I just wanted to say congratulations to the Nintendads for 500 episodes of the tied for first place best Nintendo podcast of all time. Here's to 500 more. God bless you.
Hey guys, Adam here from GamesReviews.com, and just want to say congratulations on 500 episodes. I've been listening for a long time and still catch, I think, most of them. Been a guest on there a few times, and I really love it. And I play a lot less Switch than I used to, and I'm more into what's behind me now. But guys, it's been a blast. Thank you so much for all the episodes. Looking forward to more. And again, congratulations on 500 episodes.
No, I was trying to get that stopped before that, but all right. Well, we know who's coming up next. But that was, again, Victor Lucas, Justin.
Yeah,
I know how big a deal that was for you to be able to.
I think he was our first guest, I think. Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was really early on. And you guys,
we were still single digits.
Yeah. For me, like growing up, Victor Lucas was on TV. He was Reviews on the Run, Electric Playground. It was one of those things like I would come home and watch his show, and I was like, it's not just about playing video games, right? It's about creating content around it. It's about reporting on it. It's about, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And I was like, that is something that I so would love to do, right? And so in Canada, like he's just such a staple. And I remember just looking up to him. And so I remember like when he came on the show, and I think he is like the only guest that I sort of really got a bit starstruck about. Um, and the really cool part about it is he just has a level of approachability and genuineness and authenticity. You know, we were down there in the same space during Nintendo Live a couple of years ago, and you know, I sent messages back and forth. I was like, "Man, you're killing it as host. Congratulations, well done." He's like, "Oh, you're here. That's awesome!" Like, and we were trying to meet up, but we weren't able to.
The funny part is,
he
I
reached out.
didn't know who he was until after we recorded the show. Then it connected with me. I'm like, oh, that was him.
He like legitimately bucket list moments of as a content creator. Twice we have been on the Rocket and Ray Gun Awards, which is his annual yearly awards, and I do a little video for it. And I'm going to tell you, like, if you think like that is and he said it there, like for me that's a bucket. Like it's, man, that is so incredible and so awesome. And then to be able to reach out to some of these folks and say like, hey, would you be interested in saying something? Right? You were only on a show once, or you know, you don't even think about it. But just to kind of have that relationship with some of these amazing content creators that we aspire to, that we look towards, that we you know, want to connect with, are incredible. Obviously, Kit and Chris are a great example of that. Obviously, Seth, right, from Nintendo Voice Chat. Man, he was great to have on. Just a genuine, great, fantastic guy. The work that he does with IGN, that's part of our daily, or at least my weekly content that I consume. And so that was just so cool as well. And he was really quick to say, yeah, 100% I can do stuff. Adam, you know, it's funny here, Adam, Canadian as well. Adam would actually share back and forth. We were in the very beginning, we were working with Nintendo of Canada for a lot of our access, and Adam's site was significantly bigger than ours. And so he get a lot earlier access to some of these events. He was closer as well, and so we would have lots of conversations about like, hey, what are you playing? What are you working on? Who are you chatting with? Did you get code for this? Hey, by the way, who's your contact? Like we were just kind of swapping stories, and it was really about like sharing so that you could grow. And so that was just a really cool opportunity as well. And yeah, it's great to see him doing so well. And yeah, he's really doing great into board game stuff, which is another area that fascinates us. But I can rant and rave about our guests all we want, but I'd be curious about what you guys think of this stuff as well.
Well, the Adam thing was really cool to see that he jumped on, because he reached out to me about a certain topic. I don't want to mention it because I don't want him to. I don't know if he wants it out there or not, but he asked me about a certain topic, and and we had a long discussion about it. And I mean, the show knows about what that topic is pretty much, but he reached out and we discussed it, and I was telling him how I was really ticked off about it, and looking at ways of potentially whatever. But he reached out to me and he was talking about those frustrations, and just he was looking at it from a reporting kind of aspect, you know, reporter aspect of things. So that's why he was asking me my point of view on what that issue was. And then as far as when you guys got Victor on a couple times, and then of course Justin, you going on, I remember Victor being on a few things for G4. So that's where I remember Victor from.
Yeah,
And
I think
when you
Electric
got-
Playground aired on G4 for a bit.
Yeah.
That's how I
So-
first
Yeah,
saw him.
and quite frequently he's on CNN when they do like a new game
Right,
coming out.
yeah.
He's kind of their game reporter. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool to see that you guys were able to bring him on. And unfortunately, Pear wasn't able to join in, but he was one of another guest that was on that was really cool to see come on and talk stuff. And he's helped me out too when I was coming on the show and had questions about how to do video content, you know, because he's, you know, the lead over there. He gave me some great advice, and this was at the same time I asked a few people, one of them being Bobby Pauls, which you guys brought up earlier. I asked him about, you know, what's, you know, some advice. So again, it's that whole community thing. All of us just reaching out to each other, asking questions, and getting some advice was really cool.
And I mean,
and growing as a result.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of community, I mean, Seth Macy, I mean, like when you think about Nintendo podcasts right now, And in the last few years, I mean, Nintendo voice chat is always in that conversation of what comes to mind. So, man, for just we've had a few people on from Nintendo voice chat over the years, and that's been really cool to do and see.
Yes.
And I mean, when you think about long running Nintendo podcasts, right? I mean, they're in the running, we're in the running.
Yeah, aren't they in the 700s?
I think they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah. I don't get to
I think
listen to
Barry
them
said
every
his
week.
was on for 15 years, right? The Nintendo Fuse.
Yeah, Nintendo Fuse just celebrated 15 years.
Yeah.
So crazy
Another
accomplishment.
podcast I listened to is getting close to 900.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm jealous of Seth's room that he does his podcast in. It looks like his garage or his basement or something, but I love the stuff. Every time I see his background, I'm like, what is that back there? What's that going on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he gets like a lot of like stuff from junkyards from his brother or something. That he then brings into his lab to fix.
And the really cool part, kind of behind the scenes with like so many of these creators that we've had conversations with, right? And I know you referenced Pear a couple minutes ago. Like we've had him on the podcast before, and when I was living over in Germany, I had an opportunity to go to Gamescom, and IGN was there, and so I sent him a DM, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to be in Gamescom as well. Would it be cool if I like stopped by and had a chat and connected with you?" He's like, "100%, absolutely." And so we were like having this DM back and forth, and he's like, "Okay, cool." Like it was just like really welcoming and really inviting. And it happened to turn out that they were actually leaving Gamescom one day before I was showing up, because they have a media couple days and then a open public days, and I was showing up for the open public days. But even when we reached out to him, he said like, "Man, love it. Would hope to." He said, "I just got some travel that may not be able to work, but still."
This wasn't the kidney stone year, was it?
No, but he said just like an absolute awesome guy to work with. All of these content creators who are guests are really like you feel connecting. They're just genuine, awesome people.
For sure. All right, now we'll go on to Roger.
And again, congratulations on 500 episodes.
Hey Nintendo Dads, it's Rogers Base. As you can see, I'm currently in the airport right now. I'm in the middle of a bunch of travels, so I'm happy I was able to actually just stand here and say a quick little congratulations for your 500th episode and for 10 years of being the amazing Nintendo Dads that you are. It was awesome seeing you guys grow from back in the days of VG Tribune to now the big and beautiful podcast that you are. So have an amazing 500th episode, and here's to the next 500.
10 years and 500 episodes is absolutely insane. I know only too well how hard it is to make one episode of anything, let alone 500 of them over such a long and impressive period of time. So a massive congratulations to my friends, the Nintendo Dads, for this incredible achievement, and I can't wait to see what else you guys accomplish in your many years to come.
What's going on, Nintendo Dads? This is Brian Shea from the All Things Nintendo podcast and former editor at Game Informer. Just wanted to take a moment to congratulate you on the monumental feat of 10 years of podcasting, 500 episodes. That is phenomenal. The vast majority of podcasts don't even make it through their first year. So you're already in rare air making it out of that. But to make it a full decade and 500 episodes is something that, my podcast, which just celebrated 3 years, can only dream of at this point. You guys are my brothers in not being able to sell your podcast name on your merchandise. So for that, we are forever bonded. But also, you guys have been leading the way in Nintendo-specific podcasting for a decade now. And you will forever have my admiration. Congratulations. Here's to 500 more episodes and 10 more years.
Hey, it's John Wall, and I am proud to say that I have been a fan of the Nintendo Dads since almost the very beginning. We got into the podcasting game just about at the same time, and they have been an amazing inspiration over the years. I have some really fond memories of coming on their show and alienating their wholesome audience with crude jokes and humor. But that was a long time ago. I've matured a lot since then. No more stories about how I got stuck in my... or about the dream I had about Jesse and I while wearing at Nintendo headquarters in Kyoto. That's the old me. I've changed. Anyway, 500 episodes is an absolutely stunning achievement. And I'm not just saying that to suck up to them in an attempt to get this on their show to promote my own podcast, Midlife Side Quest, which is available every Thursday morning on all major podcast platforms. No, I'm saying it because I consider them my friends. So congrats, you guys. You should be very proud of this milestone, and I can't wait to see another 500 episodes.
That's it.
So his was the first one to come in, and I forgot about all that stuff with the sound effects. So it kind of caught me off guard too.
Man, that's awesome.
So Roger's base and Andre, Brian, and John.
Yeah, Roger was one of our first guests. I had no idea who Roger was. It was a connection, Jesse, you had through VG Tribune. And Jesse and Zach invite him on to talk about Pokemon, and I don't know jack about Pokemon. I don't care about Pokemon. And so I just kind of sat there and I was listening to all these like types, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. But he was so passionate and so fevered about it. And it was funny. I then messaged him later. I said, hey, Roger, I finally purchased a Pokemon game. He's like, what'd you purchase? And I was like, Pokemon Shuffle. It was the free like mobile tap game or whatever it was. I also met up with Roger actually face to face at Nintendo Live, and he was just fantastic to connect with. We had lots of great conversations and just great photos and hung out with, and just a fantastic person. Andre's been. Sorry, go ahead.
Going to talk about Roger still. A lot of content creators that seem overly jumpy and excited, that's just a face for their show. But Roger is truly that. He is like that in real life too, and he's fun. He's fun to be around.
Yeah, he's just a absolute. It was amazing to connect with him.
I met him for the first time face to face at E3 2011.
And I know we saw a DM from him. I think we're going to try and get him on the show here in the coming weeks or months after his travel's done. We've been trying to connect with him. Obviously, he's had an amazing experience recently with Nintendo and heading over to the Nintendo Museum, and love to hear more about that. By the way, that content is out available. You should check it out. It's amazing. Jealous, but also congratulations to Roger. Andre, right, who's been on our show tons over the 10 years. Just amazing to work with as well and connect with, and just very knows his stuff, right? Knows his stuff. Been in the content creation space for a very long time. Obviously, some changes recently to the model that he has to work through, and that's part of the the economy of content creation. But just a fantastic person, and always willing to jump in and share that time. And again, I had an opportunity to see him when I was at PAX West, and hung out with him for a really brief opportunity as well. And so. It was.
My introduction to Andre and Game Explained was Super Mario 3D Land. He put out level by level videos stating where all the cold coins were.
Yeah,
and I would use those as a reference, trying to 100% the game.
Yeah, and of course Brian Shea. All things Nintendo. These are shows that are part of my regular cycle, right? All things Nintendo, NVC, right? Some of these just like regular ones, and I just love the way his approach is to it as well. And obviously, there's been a lot that's happened behind the scenes. If you're a video game pundit like we are, or an analysis of the industry, obviously Game Informer, the whole shutdown there, the impact to those folks as well, the content that they're creating, the magazine, all that. And so it's been interesting to kind of see Brian shift in the space now and find an identity where he shows up, because these are incredibly talented people. I think Alex Van Aken's another great example of it, looking for work in an industry that right now is not being very kind to its media, right? Kind to its content creators, and it's struggling, right? So there's a lot of independent work needed out there, and there's only like one or two great last bastions of the space. IGN obviously being one of those ones. Brian was just fantastic, and he spent a lot of time with us. And again, he was newly transitioned off of Game Informer, and he had some great conversations with that as well. And then John, I mean, to his point, like 10 years, right? Like I joke, right? It was the class of 2014, right? It was the NINDADS, it was Bobby Pauls, it was Sean Capri, right? And so really growing up with the Mega Dads together, right? Remember that we had the dodgeball. What was that? Dodge City. What was the game? It was oh my gosh. Knockout City tournament
Knockout
with
City,
them,
yeah.
right? Where we were raising
Yeah,
money
I had
for
no idea
charity.
what I was doing.
We also did the
Splatfest.
Splatoon stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the Mega Dads, and obviously John has separated away and is doing his own work with
And then
Midlife
they got
Side
banned
Quest.
from their own from the platform they were
They
streaming on
did.
that one day in real
Yeah.
time.
Mixer. They shut Mixer down.
Midlife Side Quest, the work that John's doing now, right? He spun that out, and that show's really interesting. It's a short form,
And they
15 minutes.
he had 100 episodes a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and so and again, these are just people that are just really good content creators, but also just really good friends. You can have those conversations, you can connect. And I messaged John a couple days ago, and I know he came back from Japan, and we're looking to go in hopefully the next couple of years, and said, hey, I'd love to sit down, John, and like learn more about your itinerary and your thoughts, so that when my wife and I are looking to plan our trip with the family, I'd love to pick your brain, right? And so 100% we'll have virtual beers and figure that stuff out. And so just an absolute pleasure to hold space with them. And when John or Adam came on from the Megadeth, you really didn't know what you were going to get, right? And that was sort of the fun of it. It was
Absolutely.
great.
And
one of the inspirations, one of them for Dads After Dark.
100%.
Well, and just I'll say from the beginning, both of them, and now with Midlife Side Quest and before with Megadads, the audio quality of their shows was always just incredible. And that was like something I know that we tried to inspire for through the years of, hey, we would like to.
Before 2020, they would record live face to face.
Yeah.
In fact, the first time they had to do a remote, that's where this little clip came from.
We sound like the goddamn Nintendo dads all of a sudden.
There you go. Like you said, it's when they were on, it was a box of chocolates. You never knew.
Yeah.
Just a side note here, man, how good it is to see John up and moving and going, because I know he had a health scare, a few months ago. A lot of people concerned for him, and I know his family as well, but man, so glad that he's doing good. And just that I followed along with their trip too.
Yeah,
it was like,
jealous,
man,
right?
that's a bucket list trip. Hey, Tim, are we wanting to give away a couple more boxes here?
Why, yes, we are. How did you know?
Well, I just, I figured it was time, right?
It was time. Yes, it was. All right, I'll spin the wheel. Next person to win a box.
Wheel of morality. Turn.
Joseph.
All I have is a Joseph.
Will that narrow it down?
If your name is Joseph, you may have just won a prize.
Where'd that come from? I'm gonna have to look that up now. It's got to be Patreon side. So, all right. So there's that one.
One more, right?
One more. I'm gonna get like a bunch of DMs. Hey, my name's Joseph. Did I win? Oh, what is this? Now there's Hoots. Sorry, I was gonna say Hoots is a winner.
Yes, love it.
All right.
Well, guys,
we got one more we'll do later.
Okay. One more we'll do later. That is all of our Let's Discuss. I just want to take a very quick timeout.
Sure.
Hey, so I don't know if anyone else has a timeout this week, but I wanted to share a really cool experience that I got to have this past Sunday night. As some of you may know, this year is the 20th anniversary of the cult classic film Napoleon Dynamite, which I actually saw in theaters back when it first came out because I'd heard so much about this weird little gem of a movie. And it has been something that has a movie that has just endeared itself to me and my family, and so many others, I think, through the years. And this past Sunday, I got the chance to go to something called Napoleon Dynamite Live. near us, like 30 minutes away, there's a college there that's a pretty big private college, but that town is not known for much else. But they have this group of people who've been getting together over the last 5-6 years, and bringing culture and shows and art into that area. They've had notable, they've had notable comedians and things like that come in, and other, musicians of all genres. They brought this tour. They do, this is a tour. They do several dates a year. And so basically the premise is you go and you sit in a room full of people who love Napoleon Dynamite, and you all watch the movie together. There's a screening of the movie. And then John Heder and Ephraim, I always forget his name. I think it's Ephraim Ramirez, who played Pedro, and the guy who played Uncle Rico, John Grease. They come out and tell stories about the movie and do a song or two, which is, you don't expect that. They give away prizes, and they do pretty healthy audience Q&A, along with some little gags. Like they have a Jamiroquai dance off, and for people
Nice.
who are dressed up in costume and things like that. And y'all, it was such, like, I don't know any other way to say it. It was like we sat there and we watched that movie, and then they did like an hour and a half afterwards of just them, and it was such a balm for the soul. Like it's just as kind of awkward and weird as you think it is. And they talk about all the things you think they will talk about, like tots and running for
your own dots.
Yeah, running for high school president and things like,
yes,
he does the Pedro voice, he does all that. It's just so cool. But the best part of it was the end. They did the dance off to Canned Heat was the last thing they did.
Nice.
And they had a guy come up. They picked several costume people out of the audience, and they had a guy come up, and he was in full on Napoleon, moon boots, the jogging pants, the Vote for Pedro t-shirt, the wig, all of that. And he did not win.
Oh.
And they gave him a button. And if you remember, there's a part in the movie where they come back to school and they're giving out Vote for Summer buttons.
Yeah.
And Napoleon's like, I'm not voting for Summer. And he's like, and then at the end of the conversation, he's like, can I have one of those buttons? And they're like, yeah, okay. And he turns around and he chunks it down the hall and goes running like this Napoleon character, run. So they give this guy the button who's dressed like Napoleon at the show, and he looks at it, launches it across the auditorium, and then does the run out and goes completely out the back. The place lost it. John Heder lost it. He's like, I really hope he comes back, because I want to get. He's like, I've never had anybody do that. It was really cool. We got to share that with a couple of friends who love that movie. In fact, there's a guy, he's about to, in a couple of years, turn 50. And when he was 30, we had him a Napoleon Dynamite themed birthday party where everyone came dressed up as characters. So this was really cool. He's been a good friend of mine for a long time, and just really cool. If you have a chance, if you're a fan of the movie and that comes near you, I highly recommend going and seeing it.
I didn't even know that was a thing. And that is one of our favorite
just
movies of all time too.
Really cool to they talk about how the story, how the casting happened.
Yeah.
And did not know this. Do you know who was originally up for the role of Uncle Rico?
No.
Christopher Walken.
That's funny.
Can you imagine that movie?
Wow.
Hey, you think I could, throw a football over those mountains, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a whole different dynamic there.
Really, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And he talks about how he had to drive there himself to get because there was no money. There
Yeah,
were like,
yeah.
and like how so many of those people were in the movie because they read the script and were like, holy cow, this is something.
Hmm.
So just really neat. And so I highly recommend it. If it comes in your area, go see it.
Nice.
Good stuff. Anybody else got a timeout?
Yeah, I do. I got one about D&D actually.
Okay.
Recently my friends and I have been playing. One of my friends has been leading it because I've been toying with the idea of trying to get it going again with my group of friends locally. Because we had played 20 years ago and we played for quite a bit of time. There was like three of us who were leading, like we're DMs of these games and taking turns so that the other person could play. And I kept toying with the idea and toying with the idea. And then finally my wife and I went out to dinner with his wife and him. And we were hanging out at Vault of Midnight. I don't know if there's any of those near you guys or anything like that. I think they're comic book stores, but they have other kinds of geeky stuff there, like D&D. And we were hanging out at the Vault of Midnight store here in Detroit, and he was looking at the D&D stuff. He was like, would you play a D&D game if I did one? Because I've been thinking about it. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll play. So we actually got a big group of people to play, and some of us got our kids to play. Like my daughter's playing along with us, and the other ones of my friends and their kids are playing. So it's really cool to see and really hilarious at times too. The funny things that you do not expect these kids that are now older, obviously they're like older teenagers saying some of the things they're saying. It's like just cracks you up and stuff. But now my friend who's been doing the dungeon master stuff, that's what that is when I say DM, in case anybody doesn't know what that is. His run is ending and I'm picking up the next run. So I've been feverishly writing stuff, not necessarily like full blown stories, but because we've learned that you don't do that. You got to be flexible. But I've been trying to write the first game and I got a lot of stuff in there, and I'm actually, it's been a long time since I've done that and had to get those creative juices going, and it's been really fun to write.
I'm going to be really sadly disappointed in you if there's not like some moment where it's like you enter a room through an accordion door that clinks upward. As you step into the darkness, the moving floor takes you closer and closer to a robot that's wielding saw blades in both of his hands. Wielding your Mega Buster. You ready yourself?
I'll keep that in mind for one of the.
Come on, one of the robot. I know there's robot enemies in D&D. You got to do something like Woodman. You got to do, you got to do something.
Yeah.
And if you do it, I need to know about it. Like I need the details.
Right. Yeah, we were joking around. We were joking around, like doing a like you see a lot of these people doing their D&D games on Twitch and stuff. We were joking about doing that too, but we're like, no, we're not going to do that. So, but it's been a lot of fun getting back into the D&D stuff.
Cool. Love it. Well, guys, let's talk about what we've been playing, shall we? Tim, as many people have pointed out, you always have a list of like,
I have 500 games to talk about. You guys ready?
And so I would love
I'm going to go stretch my legs.
I would love to hear about those, with the caveat that you've got 2 on your list that I want to talk about with you.
Okay.
But I need to use the beginning of your time to run to the restroom.
Okay.
It's not you, it's me, I promise.
Sure.
So I'll be right back. You
All
go
right.
ahead.
Okay. Jesse, I know you stopped playing Legend of Zelda. Justin, are you still playing it?
I am, yeah.
Okay. And Marty is too. So we'll talk about
Marty's
that.
Finished.
Yeah, he's finished. Okay. I'm not finished yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereabouts are you?
So I'm trying to be without spoilers.
Yeah.
There's the castle about midway through. Finish that, and then you go to the new 3.
Yes.
The other new 3. and I went southeast.
Okay.
To the wetlands.
To the wetlands first. Yeah, that's where
and
I went.
I would say just about finished that dungeon.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I was playing it beforehand, and I think I was actually at the end boss, and I was having some difficulty with it.
Okay. Got it. All right. Yeah, I'm a little bit further than that. So, but yeah, I've been spending my time doing Legend of Zelda stuff. I will try not to spoil anything for our listeners, so you don't have to stop and or skip ahead or whatever. But I unlocked a lot of the map. Even at the beginning, everybody can see what's there, what areas you will be possibly going to. I've done the southeast corner of the map, the wetlands, what you're talking about, Justin. And after that, I went northwest and took care of that stuff. And now I am in north, trying to take care of a lot of stuff. But before I went north, I started cleaning up a lot of other areas on the map and trying to unlock some of the side quests or side games or side items, because one of the things that I got unlocked in the north, again, I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody. I unlocked something in the north that requires you to go around and collect some things to bring back to this person you meet in the north. So, so I've been doing that and haven't gone to the North Mountains or whatever yet. But that's where I'm heading. I've done all the things I needed to do, collected all the things I needed to do, unlocked those things, and then now I'm getting ready to go north, and that's the colder areas of the map. So
yeah. So can we talk about that for just a second? Because I know that's where Jesse stopped.
Okay.
I also know that is the only area in the game where you face weather effects, which I thought was really strange, considering the fact that you'd been inside a volcano earlier in the game.
Yeah, but even in the volcano, you can take things that will help you from getting burned. So
true, but what I'm saying is there's not like the traditional, oh, it's too hot in this room.
Oh yeah, you're like sweating and you need to cool down.
It was weird.
Yeah.
That they waited until because I did the Lanayru area, the snow area last.
That's where I'm at. I haven't entered it yet, so
when you consider though, like the frogs that sing weather effects, right? The ones that bring the rain. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, but it doesn't really do anything to you. It doesn't damage you if you're out in it
so
for
this
very long.
is okay. So this is weather that damages you. Oh, okay.
So there are parts of the Mount Lanayru where you have to have either the ability to get in a cave or a building or go drink a smoothie that will give you heat or cold resistance for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I just discovered a potion that protects you from ice.
Oh, well, that's helpful because one of the things you're going to have to deal with is frigid water, which you can jump in it for a little bit and like jump out and it'll minimize the effect, but it's still there.
Yeah, the potion prevents you from turning to ice.
Yes.
So which I thought was cool. I don't know why yet, because I haven't gone into the mountains yet. I was like, I discovered something I'm sure I'm gonna need.
Yeah, you're right. You do need it. I was able to finish this game over the weekend. And when we talked last, I had just finished the Goron area, which is the volcano, and was heading toward Mount Lanayru and the cold area. But I was doing what you were doing right now with Dompe. And so those are really cool. I would highly recommend you get those, although I would say that I did not use them as much as I thought I would.
I got them all out of the way, so I collected everything and got them all collected. So
without being spoilery, I will say that this was, for me, was one of the most satisfying end game battles in a Zelda game that I've ever played.
Nice.
The final dungeon, again introduces a new mechanic. But not one that's foreign. It's more of a, oh, I wondered when that was going to show up, and here it is.
Yeah.
So it's not very, the good part about it is that it might be a little frustrating, but it's not very long. Like it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Good.
So the dungeon part of it. So
nice.
It was definitely enjoyable. I thought the end game was great. And for me, I have finished this game at the point I want it to be finished. Like I'm done. Like I'm gonna put it down for a while. I may come back to it and 100% it at some point, but probably not right now. I'm about 5 stars, not stars, 5 hearts, or 4 or 5 hearts away from having all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean finding side quests and getting heart pieces.
Yeah.
And I don't like, I wanted to play something else.
No,
But
I
it's
get
not
it.
that I didn't like this game. It's just I didn't want to wear it out. I didn't want it to overstay its welcome.
Well, I
It
think
was-
that's where we all been with some of these longer games, right? At least for
Yes.
me, I'm like, oh, like even with SteamWorld Heist too, I was enjoying the heck out of that game. But it was like, I'm ready to play a different game. But I know if I try to play a different game, I won't come back to finish Heist 2. I've learned
Mhm.
me over these 10 years playing, Nintendo Dad's games. So, but I've learned that, okay, the longer the game is, the less likely I'm going to finish it, or it's going to take me 5 years to play. or take a long time to come back to it. So it's like I have to stay with it and finish it. And it's like you said, Marty, you were happy to get to that point where like, okay, I'm done. I did what I wanted to do and hit the credits.
Yeah, even though I did dip into side quests and things and find a little bit more than just the base game, I was happy with my experience. I feel like this is a perfect time limit for a Zelda
Yes.
game.
Yes.
And so it's going to end up in my top 5, definitely maybe even in my top 3 Zelda games of all time. And I would say if you're on the fence about this, like you've looked at it and you're like, I just don't know if it's Zelda-y enough, or anything, don't take that first footage like as your and you can't play as Link. Don't let that sour you on this game. It is a wonderful, wonderful ride, and
It's a good mix of all those mechanics.
Yes, I highly recommend it. Don't let the looks of it fool you. I know it was kind of like kitty looking or whatever, but don't do that.
But just think of Wind Waker and how surprised if you played,
Sure.
surprised you are when going to play that one.
Yeah.
Or any of them, actually, 'cause some of them did look kitty, but that was my favorite part. That is my favorite part of this game so far, is being able to use all of those mechanics, not just Zelda's, not just the swordsman. Being able to blend all of those things together to work with each other is one of my favorite things to do in the game. Is like, okay, I'm going to put a spell out for this echo to go out, and then I'm going to switch over to the swordsman, and then that echo is attacking from over here while I'm attacking from over here. Love it. Great stuff. So
I would love to see them expand on that for the sequel and have extra spirits or things that you could change the main character into, like sword fighter form, the other things.
Oh, that would be interesting.
That would be neat. Maybe a Sheikah form or something like that would allow you to do different things.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely some legs on this and some areas that they didn't go to that they could explore.
Right.
In this
That's awesome. That's all good ideas. I would play that.
Oh yeah.
All right. So also played Transformers Galactic Trials. Picked it up myself. Nobody gave us a code for it, but I wanted to play it, so jumped into it. I did a first look on it. I think it's out now. And it is so far so good. I'm sure some people are going to be disappointed in it. I'll say that. Because for me, it's the racing part and the drifting part. It feels great. Like I get a good drift out of it without working too hard for it. And that's what I like about an arcadey racer type thing. So that part I liked. For me, switching from the car to the robot was a little bit harder for me to catch on to. And I would actually lose, like I'd be in first place when racing. And then when it came to the battling, which I guess it makes sense because I'm not that good at like Fortnite type stuff. So, so I end up dropping to last place, and then I have to catch up in the race. And then luckily, in at least the first few races, the beginning matches, I've been able to catch up and get back in the first place. So the combat part of it is the one I'm struggling with, and I'm going to say that's on me, not the game. Some people may find the combat's better than the racing part. I don't know. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be, I don't know if there's anything I can say to make somebody go play it or check it out unless they had a demo. I really would think it would be beneficial for that company to have a demo. Yeah, they might lose some sales, but I think they might gain some in return for giving the opportunity for people to play. And maybe there is a demo on Steam. I don't know if it's out on Steam or not, but maybe there's something out there for people to play. But if you're a Transformers fan, I think it's a fun game to have, to goof around with, and just keep your expectations low on it when going in and looking at it. So I think that's probably all I got to say for that. I'll probably jump into that some more and check it out.
It is on Steam. I do not see a demo.
Okay. Thanks for checking, Jesse. I did play some Hatch Tales when we got the code, and there will be a first look on Monday that we're allowed to do because there was an embargo for people like us. So, but Marty, you said we were allowed to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I agree with you what you were saying earlier about it. It's fun. It is thankfully a lot of fun to be able to jump in, knock out a board or two, maybe see if you unlocked one of the bonus levels that come with it if you find a scroll or something. And then jump into that and see how you do. And then you get to see, like, there's a lot of collecting. So you collect things to help unlock the next boards. And it looks like you said, there's a lot of pages or a lot of worlds to unlock. So there's a lot of content there. And if you like collecting things and games like that and the puzzle solving with the hookshot and all that kind of stuff, then you're good. And one of the things I missed and I forgot about when they showed off the game was the riffs that you can tap on. So I went right by it and then I finished the board and was like missing some of those gems. I was like, where are they? I looked, I went back in there looking all over and it's like, oh, that's right. I'm supposed to hit this rift. And I hit it and unlocked it. And that's where I got the rest of my gems. So it's cool stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to jumping back into that a little bit more after I'm done with Echoes as well. So again, that was Hatch Tales, a heroic hookshot adventure. And then I guess too, in case anybody's wondering, hey, I want to do Chicken Wiggle, but I didn't support it, so I'm not going to get that code. No, you're not going to get the code, especially if everybody's on the honor system. But if you beat the game, the normal game, you will be able to unlock the ability to do the Chicken Wiggle stuff.
Ah, that's nice.
So
2 games in 1.
Yes.
Because the Chicken Wiggle stuff from the jump is different levels.
Yes.
But it also does unlock the ability for you to play as Chicken and Wiggle in Hatch Tales, which is what I'm doing because that's how it was intended.
And it gives you a little bit more of a challenge too, because you get 1 less heart.
1 heart.
Yep. So you only get 1. It's 1 hit kill.
Yep. And trust me, it happens.
Yes.
Often.
Yep. And then the last game I've been playing is Ultimate Chicken Horse. That was kind of like getting together with Chris HL and Beer came on, jumped in, and Shannon came in and hang out with us. He didn't have the game, so he came and hung out with us. But we were playing that because we were waiting to do Friday night / Saturday night NSO this coming weekend because of Mario Party. So, but we still got together and played Ultimate Chicken Horse, and that was a lot of fun. And remember, I said Ultimate Chicken Horse, not any other word.
Horse.
Horse. All right, that's all I've been playing.
Okay. Jesse, what about you? What you been playing?
Right, so I'll be continuing PICROSS Records of the Shield Hero. I'm continuing with the chapter-based puzzle selection as opposed to just the here's the 150 PICROSS, here's the 150 Mega PICROSS. So I think I just started chapter 9, and last week I said that there was 8 of the giant puzzles, but 12 chapters, so I wasn't sure what they were going to do with the other 4 chapters. I found out what they did. They put the clip PICROSS puzzles into some of the chapters, and I think there's 4 of them, so that makes between clip PICROSS and the extra PICROSS, there's 12 of them, so 1 of those per chapter. So I'm in chapter 9, so I probably will be finishing that up this week. Then I haven't finished it yet, but I started the demo for Metaphor ReFantazio. I think I might have gotten maybe 2 hours in, maybe 3. So it's, very Persona-like in styling and how the combat goes once you actually get into the combat. But it's set in a more medieval setting as opposed to modern day Tokyo. You like in the world you're in, there I think they said there was 8 different races, and your character is the one that looks the more I'm going to say traditionally human, and you'll understand why I say that in a minute. Looks like us. Everyone else has ears or horns or something going on to indicate that they're the race, and it's a big this race doesn't like this race, so a lot of can't even think of the word, but so there's a lot of bad talk going between the races, and you're in the big city that has a mix of all of them, but you're like no one else has seen your kind before. But as you going through the first dungeon area, you get your awakening moment, very similar to like Persona has the awakening when you first get your power. So you get your power in this game. And the enemy you are fighting is what they call humans. So I'm like, okay, I'm very curious about what's going on with that story bit. So I do plan on finishing the demo at least, and I will likely buy it and keep on playing. But it's a $70 game. It'll be at least 80 to 100 hours, I'm sure, to play through the whole thing. But yeah, and early on when you're exploring the world, you don't have your powers yet, and they don't want you to combat. If you get into combat, you are going to die. So it makes it sound like it's an action RPG where you, like Final Fantasy 16, or but once you get into a party and you start fighting that way, it does turn into your traditional turn-based with combat, and then when you awaken to your powers, you get another set of abilities. But I haven't gotten far enough to explain what the power is that I just awakened to. So I'm also curious about that. So I plan on playing more of that. So far that's all I've been playing this week.
Cool. Justin, playing anything?
Not a lot because I'm traveling. I will say a couple things. Playing Echoes of Wisdom. Tim and I already talked about that. Played a game called Crow Country, out now, came out last week. If you are a fan of like Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil 2, kind of mid-90s PlayStation horror kind of game, you should definitely check this game out. I had a PlayStation, I had Resident Evil 1 and 2, and kind of love that spirit, spooky, can't quite see. In this case, the first little bit that I played, you're basically at a carnival and trying to explore and find your way around it. But there is very much it is designed and feels like Resident Evil, and I would definitely recommend if you like a good spooky horror game, check it out. First Look is available now, about 35 minutes. But listen, the atmosphere that they created, the how much you can see, how much you can't see, but the sound design. I felt like at any moment something was going to crash through the glass and scare me like the dogs did in Resident Evil 2 when you go down that hallway. So if you like those kind of games, check it out. But yeah. And then, yeah, I'm traveling. The other games that I've downloaded some games to play potentially in the next couple days is Neva. That came out yesterday. I heard tons of great things about that. Core Keeper came out today. We're gonna have a first look on that one from Casey soon as well. And then, of course, I think maybe Marty, you're gonna talk about it. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Yeah, those are what I'm playing. But I've been traveling, so I haven't had a lot of time to actually play. But I'm hoping, hopefully, in the next couple days, I'll have a bit more time.
Yeah, so good. What I've of course been playing Hatch Tales and Echoes of Wisdom. I've already talked about. After Echoes of Wisdom this weekend, I had some extra free time and finished up Final Fantasy IV, which that makes now 4 games from the Pixel remaster that I've beaten on the Switch. So this one reminded me of why I fell in love with turn-based role-playing games. Like this is one of the best of all times. The story is great. The story beats are great. The overall pacing of it. Your characters feel good. There's side quests that you can miss. I think that was kind of the first time that they ever did that in Final Fantasy. There's some little secrets that you can go do kind of before you go in game that help out with some things, and just so good. Like I remember playing through that on the SNES back in the day, and it pulled up all that good sweet nostalgia. And so I think I'm going to take a break and not start on 5 immediately. Probably do that around Christmas break from school, just because you know I want to dig into some other games that aren't role playing games right now. And one of those being Super Mario Party Jamboree, which launched today. And I'm super excited to tell you that it is fantastic. It is absolutely a blast. My family and I sat down and we played immediately, played the Mario Party, like the main part of the game. We played a 10-round game, which they said would take about 90 minutes. It did not, but that's because we're experienced Mario Party players, so we kind of knew what we were getting going in. I do like that they do some things with this game that make it a little bit more accessible than Super Mario, the first Super Mario Party. So if you remember Super Mario Party, it was the very first Mario Party to launch on Switch, and was kind of notorious for you had to play it with one Joy-Con, right? Like that's how you have to play the game. If you somehow open this game up and you're on a Pro Controller or 2 Joy-Cons, you cannot even home screen it. You just have to reset the system to get out of it. And a lot of the games being motion based. When you start this game, when you play a game of Mario Party, it asks you, do you want to include motion based games or not? We said no, because we have people of varying skill levels that some like motion games, some don't. So we decided to go with all controller based games, and it played fantastic. It was so much fun. There's just been like all kinds of little tweaks and little things to help the game flow along. One of the ones I love the most is down at the bottom of the screen now. It shows a game flow like graph. So the player who is playing currently will be at the left, and then it will show the turn order, and it will tell you what's coming after that. It's like these 4 people are going to go, and then there's a mini game, or these 4 people are going to go, and we're going to start the final rounds, or it's end game. And so it just does a good job of letting you know where things are. It does have the buddy system from the original Super Mario Party, but in this one, instead of like landing on them and like they're on the map from the beginning. These only appear for a certain period of rounds, and then they follow you. And they don't just give you a dice block, they actually help you do different things. Like on our game, Waluigi showed up for 3 turns. Nobody was able to get to him, but it said if he gets to him and you pass somebody with Waluigi in your group, he has the potential to steal between 3 and 8 coins from them every time he passes. Each person he passes. So, one fun game twist. We played the forest map with the Mega Wiggler. That was great. We had a blast. All the new games are super fun. And then before I started, I decided that I would try the Coupathlon mode, which is the 20-player mode that you can also play online, where you're like on a track, and the more coins you collect in the games, that's the more spaces you move on the track, and you're trying to do like 3 laps. So your character is actually moving on spaces as you play the games. What I found interesting is you play 3 games, and then you have to face off against Imposter Bowser. And that's kind of like a big thing in this game, Imposter Bowser. It's one of the winged Mega Koopa or Magic Koopas. Kamek turns them into this thing called Monster Bowser or Imposter Bowser in the cinematic at the beginning of the game, and it's like the ever-present threat of like, oh, Imposter Bowser, if you land on a Bowser space, you got to deal with him, or you got to do, because Bowser's a playable character in this game. You can use him. This Coupathlon, you play 3 games and then you fight, or you have to survive Imposter Bowser in a game, and then you just keep going. But the 3 games then repeat. So like it starts at level 1, and then those games go up to level 2, and then those games go up to level 3, and they get harder, and then they can even go back down if you're losing. So it kind of adapts with you. And then finally, I tried the single player mode, which is a party game where you're like getting the party ready. And so you have to go through all of the maps in the single player game, and like it's kind of like free roaming. You can there's a path that you have to stay on, but you can go around and you can like take things to people and help them and do all kinds of stuff. So all the reviews you've been reading, I think, are pretty accurate. There's a few little weird issues, but otherwise, this is a super fun game, and I'm looking forward to digging into it with my family a little bit more this weekend if they'll play with me, because we, for some reason, cannot play multiplayer games together because we yell at each other. And today it was like several times my wife was like, stop. If you yell or you complain one more time, I'm quitting. And I'm like, oh gosh, y'all, please don't ruin her love of video, her scant, barely there love of video games. Please don't. Anyway, it's fun. I highly recommend the game. And by the way, I meant to mention this. It looks gorgeous. Like the just the art style is incredible. Lots of little interactions and reactions and stuff you can buy and use, and yeah, great stuff. So,
of course, big thanks to Nintendo of America for providing us codes for
and I'm
access
gonna stream a little bit about that sometime this weekend, so people can see what some of that stuff is like if they're on the fence. They can check it out. That is what we've been playing. Very quickly, let's turn on the community spotlight because I think Jesse's about to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, if you've been listening to 500 episodes, especially more recently, you'll know what this is about. This is basically, we like to shine a light on our awesome community and just say thank you again for everybody who stopped by tonight to celebrate with us. And if you're listening to the recording, make sure you make a comment. We'd love to hear wherever you're listening at. Make a comment about what the audio you listen to, or if you're watching on YouTube or a replay of the stream. Just leave a post or a comment or whatever on that thing, or even follow up in an email. We'd love to hear some more stories or more thoughts about your experiences with us, and or just how Nintendo Dads did whatever, or maybe brought the passion back or whatever. I don't know, about video games. Keep that in mind. Video games we're talking about. So, but with that, we again follow us subscribe to us on all those channels like Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter so that you'll be notified of when we release videos, when we do streams like this, or other things like what Marty's talking about, streaming the Mario Party game. You'll be up to date on those and get notified. As well as when we were talking about, like I said earlier, the NSO guys, when we get together and do something, we'll be sharing on the stream as well. So, and maybe, who knows, once we figure out the game and figure out what you can do or can't do, maybe you can come play along, because we've done that too with Mario Kart. So lots of fun times there going on, but you won't know those things unless you are subscribed to one of those things like Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and even Patreon. So, and don't forget, we're also doing Halloween Mayhem, which goes on till November 4th, where you can win prizes, as well as a new Astrobot Mayhem, which Justin, I mentioned to you, and there they said it probably won't be prizes, but I said there's always prizes. So
we can make that happen.
We'll work on that. But there's a Astrobot Mayhem, so maybe you're a PlayStation fan and you're into the Astrobot stuff. We have a Mayhem for that John has thankfully set up, and we will have a prize for. So keep that in mind. And speaking of prizes, we do have, I think we said a couple more things, right? Justin, you said you wanted to give away a code?
No, I said we had codes for Chicken Wiggle. So we can give away we can give away one of the codes. That's fine.
I got the one that I given away that I have to make a drawing for later. So from the people who already did that one.
I've got one that we can give away.
Do you want to do one of those now?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I'll spin the wheel for that and share that screen. Here we go. All right. So this will be for the code for the Hatch Tales code.
Yep.
And that will be Steve Vincenti.
Cool. So you want to reach out to Steve and then let me know?
Yep.
Lovely.
Vincenti. All right. So get that going. And then we got the other thing, which we couldn't add to, say, one of the boxes, but will be a separate prize in itself. Yep. And that is, again, we had this every year thanks to Bruce. He's given us this gift in Extra Life. He's made a special edition 10th anniversary Triforce that he wants to give away to for celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Nintendo Dads. So super awesome of him always for doing that, especially for the past couple of years for having the Triforce. I have mine right up there. You won't be able to see it on camera, it looks like, but mine's right up there, right up on hanging with the belt. So we're going to give away the special edition 10th anniversary one. And once he's done making it, then we'll work out the logistics of shipping it out to whoever the winner is. So that winner will be Jason. Another first name person.
If your name is Jason, you may have just won a prize.
I will find out from the list who that is. I got the hard-coded list, I guess, for that. So Jason, I'll be reaching out. I think that's Frosticles, I want to say, but we'll double check that. So, all right, cool. Of course, there's another Jason in the group too, so I'll have to double check, like I said. All right, so with that, we've got that done with the prizes. Thanks again for everybody who participated, and thanks for everybody who subscribes to Patreon for us to be able to do that. All right. First question is from Koopa Kid 80. Congrats again on episode 500. What do the dads see happening for the show, each other, and the big N 500 episodes from now? How do you see the video games landscape, content creation, and being a dad changing over the next 10 years? Get your crystal balls out, gentlemen.
Y'all will experience like high school graduations and colleges and stuff that I've already had a dabble in.
That's coming in the next 5 to 6 years for me.
Well, I've already had one that's done that. a while ago because she's 29. So
Yeah, I would think for this group, it's really about sort of now transitioning to being like empty nesters with kids that come back with, college and having their own significant others and sort of transitioning into the next phase of their life. So I think it's sort of an interesting component of it. I think we still try and like bring in, like Casey tries to join us on a regular basis, who still has a very young child. So it's great to kind of hear from that element as well. And so I think that's some of the stuff that I think would change as well.
So what you're saying is Nintendo granddads.
Eventually, I think may turn that way. Yeah.
Right. That'll be a whole new experience we'll be talking about. But yeah, like you said, Justin, we have plenty of other content creators on the Nintendo Dads side that have younger children. Like you said, Casey and Beer. Also, when he did his video, he had his kid on there too. So that was really cool.
Yeah. I've actually got a question that came through Twitter. Do you want to ask that one? Because I don't think it's on this list here.
It is not on the list, but I didn't know.
I'll do the one from Twitter.
Go for it.
Jody Masson asks, how many of the Nintendo moms or the wives listen to the podcast? And so I know that Jody today is listening to the podcast because she's celebrating the 500th. And actually, she messaged me, said, I can't listen anymore. I'm going to bed. It's too long, which is a fair statement. But I'd be curious for the three of you, anyone's spouse regularly listens to it.
Hang on just a second. Hang on. Hey, babe. Do you regularly listen to the Nintendo Dads podcast? About once a week. That's a lie from the devil. You watch a few minutes? Okay, well at least you do that. She didn't watch any of it.
Is it because she's watching it live because you're in the room?
Well, actually, we're in the bedroom right now, so she just comes in, when we run long. Like I know it's been a long show when she comes in and is like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Jody sent me a message. She's like, you look bored. I'm like, it's 12:30 and I'm starting to fall asleep over here.
Yeah.
So yeah. Tim, what about you?
My wife is usually close earshot, so she hears it from my point of view, but she doesn't hear any of what you guys are saying because I have my headphones on and hear you guys in my headphones. So a lot of times I get funny looks if I say something that does not make sense, if she doesn't have the context, and she'll just look at me and just be like, and then other times she might say something too from the other room. So like of something I've said. And so it gets pretty funny at times, but she does not go back and listen.
That's fair. Jesse?
My wife does not listen to the show. She doesn't listen to any podcast.
Fair. Yeah. And I would say like that's probably something that we have not spent this time in the space talking about is like the amount of love and support that our families, our spouses provide for us to be able to do this. The encouragement, the times that we're away from our families, the times that we're nerding out about the latest Nintendo Direct or trying to play a game with our kids or all of those things. And really, I don't think, this podcast is able to occur if it wasn't for the support of our spouses and the love that and patience. I think love and patience would be the words I would use there for supporting us as well. So thank you for them as well. I know it can be a challenge for sure.
My wife actually mentioned recently, she goes, I really like, she's being serious. It was like a serious moment. She said, I really like what you guys are doing for the community. Because she hears it from my perspective, obviously, but notice that how people gravitate to us to participate in some of these things that we do online. And even the whole, we've joked about therapeutic at times, like the dinner table type things. And she said it sounds like it actually is really therapeutic for a lot of people to be able to talk about things they probably can't talk about with their wives, because everyone's like, their wives go talk to your boyfriends. So get it out of your system then. So that's what my wife jokes about with me about go talk to your boyfriends.
That's fair enough, right? But I mean, I know that the amount of support that Jody's provided for it as well, obviously, and We know I went to Gamescom for it and PAX West and Nintendo Live, and yeah, just the amazing support. And I think there's also a bit of a benefactor they get from it as well. They get some free games, right? They get to play and family nights and all those type of things as well. So hopefully they see a value of it as well, and a value, to your point, Tim, of the community that's built, right? And I think that's probably hopefully something that they are proud of their partners for helping and doing as well.
Yes. Yep. Like you said, it's they might not be like in front of the cameras like this or doing anything in the community. They are helping by supporting us, being that support in the background. So for sure.
Nice.
All right. The next question is from Frosticles. I have a vault question for the dads. Like the Nickelodeon time capsule, I want you to write down what you think will be the name of the current Nintendo console on episode 1000. Say nothing, hint nothing, store them collectively, and announce them on episode 1000. I'll be there.
I love this question.
You.
I love this question because it would be 5 years from now. So likely, or sorry, 10 years from now. So likely
It'll be
the third
Switch
version,
2's
right? Or
successor.
Switch 3, right? So they could oh my gosh. Okay.
Depends on how
That's cool.
successful
Very
the
good
Switch
question.
2 is as well. Like how long
Right?
will
Yeah,
that
there's
last?
a lot of factors there.
Yeah. So, but his thing is we have to write it down, not tell each other, but be able to pull it back up when the time comes.
Let's figure out how we're going to do that.
Yeah. All right.
I love that idea.
We'll figure that out, Jason. All right.
Can I recommend you miss the third question, go to 4, because question 3 we can actually dovetail into the other thing we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. David asks from Patreon, I will be picking up Alarmo for my 9-year-old as his first alarm clock. He loves Nintendo/Pikmin, and I believe that his age group is the target audience for this device. He is becoming more independent, getting up ready for school on his own, and I think this will definitely be a fun way to help. Do you believe any other products will release with the Labo Alarmo naming convention? And what could these potentially be? Friendo, a wearable bracelet with tiny screen you can wear to play simple micro games, Street Pass, and communicate with friends. Come on, Nintendo, make it happen. I will buy that watch.
A watch.
I will buy a Nintendo watch. I will tell you that right now if they make a watch.
Timo.
Watcho.
Timo.
I like Timo.
Game and watch.
Or it'll probably still be Alarmo, but with a
Alarmo
Light.
Yeah, Alarmo Light. There you go. Perfect. I like that idea. But yeah, do you guys think of anything else that they could potentially add the O name to? I joked about having Mario Karto last week. That's the next game that Marty's going to be playtesting.
Yeah.
They could just simply apply the Alarmo scheme of things. Like, if you take too long, you get an increasing reminders, that to a toilet.
Nice.
Toilet.
Call it Flusho.
Flusho. There you go. I like it.
Mario Karto could also be like a map making kit.
And they're leaving money on the table with a collection of Nintendo themed containers that you can take your lunch and dinner with you at bento.
Nice. That's a good one. I like that. That's a really good one, actually.
Very good. All right. Good stuff. All right. The last one is, you want me to read it or do you want to take it over, Justin?
Yeah. Why don't you read it and then we'll transition out.
Skinny Matt asks, with the Epic Universe announcement, see the video, when will there be an NDADS meetup at Universal's Orlando and have everyone ride the DK coaster?
My first thought to that was, I don't think half of us would fit.
That could also be very true. Yeah. So great question. That would be an amazing meetup for sure. Which is, I see. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Thanks, Marty. I see that. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. This is actually very exciting. So one of the things that we talked about for this year was an actual meetup and what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And we very much struggle to figure out the best forum, the best way, the best infrastructure to ensure that people get value out of it and that people are engaged. And so we didn't do anything in 2024 to celebrate. However, we do have plans in 2025. And so what we are announcing at this point is that in May of 2025, the entire Nintendo Dads team will be heading to PAX East for all on-site celebration, and we are inviting our entire Nintendo Dads community to join us in Boston for PAX East. Now, tickets are not available yet. Nothing has been able to, like, you can't do any of the bookings for it yet. I think they have the dates, that's about it. But our intention is for all 4 of us to go. And actually, I've already started sending out some emails with the media team there to actually request like a specific hall, to do a panel, to do like a community gathering. We want to use basically the space that's going to be created there, that's already the infrastructure there, gaming community, to do a bunch of things. And we're going to try and have like obviously a little bit of meet and greet, maybe go for dinner, spend time together, game together, content create together. So our intention is going to be PAX East 2025. It is in May, and it is in the Boston
second weekend
area.
in May.
It's downtown. Second weekend in May. It's downtown Boston. And so all the Nintendo Dads, I got to experience PAX West a couple of years ago, and it was absolutely incredible. And I'm excited that the rest of the team gets to experience it. And I think it's going to be a great event for, again, all of us to be there. And hopefully, if you're able to join us, again, we're kind of giving people about 8 to 9 months notice. More to come on the details as we get closer to it, but that is what we are going to be doing. And we think that's the best infrastructure and setup for it as well. Tickets are not available yet, and we don't have exactly if we're going to be approved to do a hall presentation or whether we're going to be able to do a panel. We're going to apply for it, obviously. We're still going to go regardless. And it just may mean that instead of that, we're going to go meet at a pub at 9 o'clock for drinks and food and do this and that. So it'll just be that maybe instead if we don't get approved, but actively working to get those things resolved.
Yeah, just to be clear, those dates are May 8th through the 11th.
Yeah, that's the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll determine probably what day we'll be at PAX. We may fly in on the Thursday potentially. All those details to be determined, but that is what we're doing, and we want to invite you as our community to be there. So if you're in the Boston area or have the ability to fly in or come in or want to make plans, hey, we're excited for you.
Absolutely. And guys, with that, we are going to close out this historic 500th episode of Nintendo Dads. So thank you so much for hanging with us tonight. And we know this has been an extra long show, but it was extra long because, you guys sent in so much love for us. And so we're super thankful for each and every one of you. And as we close out the show, as always, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, as well as our other 100 plus patrons of the show. And each and every one of you, as Tim or Jesse said earlier, I can't remember which one, over 370 something of you that have been patrons of the show at one time or another, or Twitch Prime subscribers. We've got 23 of those right now, over 1,400 Twitch followers, and over 7,700 YouTube subscribers. Thank you. We really mean that. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. We could not do the things we do without you, and it's just mind-blowing. It's sometimes to see the support that we have. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. You can go over and check out nintendodads.org for Spotify podcast feeds of all our other shows, YouTube videos, tweets, links to all our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch, where you can get things like the exclusive 10-year 500 episode shirt and logo printed on pretty much anything. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Manscaped.com, where you can get 20% off your Manscaped order with free shipping with the code NINDADS. That's NINDADS. You can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Thanks to OC Remix for the music we use throughout the show, and download us in your podcatcher of choice. And please, please, please leave a 5-star review and helps push us on up the charts. If they don't do reviews, email their support and be like, why don't you do reviews? We'd like to review the Nintendo Dads. And maybe they'll just say, well, we'll just make them number 1 anyway. It's just, it's all about getting us up there. So, anyway, For me, for Justin, for Tim, for Jesse, this has been episode 500 of Nintendo Dads. Thank you guys for making it what it is and what it will be in the future. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.